Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of Kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free Kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, going out to your local bar or restaurant once the coronavirus lockdown ends might come with a steep price. That's because 3 cities in Louisiana, Texas, and Missouri will only allow non-essential businesses to reopen if they agree to collect customers' personal information. Activist Post, citing NOLA Ready, reports the Department of Homeland Security and the city of New Orleans are creating a new normal by forcing bars and restaurants to collect customers' personal information. As Forbes.com explains, the new normal is for bars and restaurants to become government snitches. 2 different articles in NOLA.com reveal how DHS and the city of New Orleans plan to use COVID-19 contact tracing as an excuse to record customers' personal information. An article titled "Customer Logs Will Be Kept Under New Normal Amid Coronavirus in New Orleans" explains the plans of the DHS. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Astronomers and other experts have not been shy about voicing their opposition to the Federal Communications Commission, allowing companies to send tens of thousands of satellites and other spacecraft into the sky to blast 5G and Wi-Fi. Now, more unsavory individuals and companies want to send satellites up as well in order to spy on us. Activist Post cites News Punch in saying that almost every corner of the planet will soon be monitored by video surveillance satellites, capable of live streaming coverage of human activity for governments and large enterprises, if Bill Gates gets his way. Microsoft founder Gates is bankrolling a company that is using a $1 billion initial equity allocation from investors to plan a network of satellites to provide real-time coverage of almost every location on Earth. Washington-based company Earth Now plans to launch an army of more than 500 satellites into the atmosphere, providing its users with near instantaneous video feedback with only 1 second of delay. With more than 5,000 service members infected with COVID-19, the United States Army has issued a contract notice on the System of Award Management, known as SAM website, seeking to develop a wearable diagnostic capability for the very early symptomatic detection of COVID-19 infection. Activist Post reports the notice is a request for project proposals through the Medical Technology Enterprise Consortium, which was posted Monday on SAM. It says 10 contracts totaling $25 million could be awarded in weeks to companies that can help the Army rapidly field wearable coronavirus detectors, a move that would be an early warning sign to stop spreading. It said the bidder must have an established manufacturing capability for the platform and to say kits on a large scale. Testing is expected to be minimally invasive, and the device should not affect a soldier's general movement while in the field. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
While getting drinks after work with a group of coworkers, local shipping clerk Russell Chambliss told reporters Wednesday night he was unsure whether he was bonding with his male associates or being mercilessly bullied by them.
I'm pretty sure that Bill called me limp dick earlier, and Todd keeps punching me in the shoulder. Pretty hard, too. I can't tell if it's their way of letting me feel like I'm part of the group or making me feel bad about myself.
Chambliss said while his coworkers verbally demeaned him and even made him feel physically threatened at various points in the evening, they did so with large smiles on their faces, making it extremely unclear if his coworkers enjoyed his company or wanted him to leave the bar.
Well, I told Jeff about this problem that I was having with my girlfriend, and he called me a pussy and then walked away. But then, like 5 minutes later, he came back with a beer that he had bought for me. What does that even mean? Apparently, I'm invited over to Todd's house for dinner this weekend. I guess that'll be fun.
For more on this story, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
I'm Ian.
And Conan.
And apparently masks are still the subject of the day. There was the guy a week ago who decided he was going to abide the face mask requirements in California by wearing a KKK hood. Evidently, he can't be charged. They have no grounds for charging him, I guess.
What would the charge be?
I don't know. It's a good way to troll people, I guess, if you don't care about your reputation.
Well, being California, wouldn't they turn that into some kind of hate crime situation?
Yeah.
An attempted hate crime? Thought crime?
I wouldn't put it past California to do that, but apparently they couldn't find anything. Even the thou shalt not wear a mask in public laws, don't they have one of those in California? Or is that suspended for the time being?
Well, I know they have one in Florida, but I don't know about California. And I want to know how those two laws interplay with each other, right? Because Florida, at the very least, did pass a law forbidding people from covering their faces in public.
I think they're looking the other way. I think they're just using discretion and not enforcing that.
Yeah. But still, it raises the question, if you were to be arrested for not wearing a mask in one of these states, as many people have been, you could make the argument that you were just following the law that said you couldn't wear a mask. I mean, that's government at its best.
And it would be up to the judge at that point. And whatever bias he is leaning towards that week would take place, would take precedence.
So at least in those states, the government has actually made it impossible to be a legally existing citizen. You're either breaking the law by not wearing a mask or you're breaking the law by wearing a mask.
Well, you pretty much are always breaking the law in some way or
breaking
another.
The law,
right?
breaking the law.
Excellent point. But according to this article that you brought in, Conan, masks are making people meaner, dumber, more afraid, and less safe.
Really?
Well, of course, and of course, a lot of people are wearing them because of safety reasons. They have been told somewhere along the line that it's all about, especially if you are sick, you are preventing healthy people from being sick because you're not spitting all over them.
Right. I mean, which is solid reasoning if I was sick.
Well, yeah, and if you lean the way that I do, and that we all have it, we've either already had it. We've had it from last year or even last fall, or we're going, it's in our system, and all they had to do is just give us the right test that happens to be either a false positive and or the test amplifies the tiny little bit of corona that we have in us. We all have it.
I think the fact that most of the crew of Free Talk Live has been going around in public as normal, not wearing masks, not wearing gloves, and not doing anything different, but yet not one of us has been tested and positive for COVID-19. Most of us
I'm not going to get tested.
That's what I was about to say. Most of us haven't been tested at all because we're perfectly healthy.
Well,
right.
With this new House rule, this new legislation they're trying to pull down the pikes, HR 6666, the Trace Act, the last thing in the world you want to do is get tested and to find that you have COVID because they can...
And they get up your butt.
They could throw you in quarantine. And they can throw us... And then they would find out everyone we've been around... And then they test you as well, throw you in quarantine, and vaccinate us with whatever poultice they have cooked up at the moment.
But wouldn't you say that our continued existence as healthy people is proof that the American people are being lied to by the media?
You would think. You would think.
There's at least very strong anecdotal evidence.
I mean, all you have to do is look at the stats, by the way, which they are not.
Yeah, we should all be dead by now.
Which they are not displaying any longer. All the charts, all the stats, they don't come out at their little briefings any longer to tell what it's going to be. They'll talk about the curve, it's been flattened, but there's going to be the second wave and whatnot. So you all got to
stay inside.
Keep staying inside. And you have a whole contingent of this country that are all on board.
I don't know about this statement, though, that we should all be dead. I mean, even by the government's own numbers, no, we shouldn't.
2% of us should be dead.
Not even that. Of young people? No.
Not of young people. Well, no, but they don't say that.
Right.
They don't say. And
maybe it's like 2% of elderly people or something like that.
But. And they don't pick out the most polluted regions of this country either, like New York, which is just smog central. Of course, people are going to get sicker in those areas than, say, fresh air, New Hampshire.
Right.
Which what are we like 100 people dead or something?
Something like that.
And only a half dozen of them were under 60.
I think how many of them were going to die anyway?
Correct. Because
they already had something
from the seasonal flu
or whatever it was that they were already ill from.
Exactly.
When they came down with this.
So what is this argument from lovebreedsaccountability.com about how masks are making people dumber?
Well, this is an argument that is more not so much the health concerns, but the ulterior concerns that we should all have in that it makes us, first of all, it's going to make us meaner. And I already know I'm not even wearing a friggin' mask, and when I go out in the public and I see 90% of Walgreens is nothing but a face of zombies wearing their masks, all giving me the stink eye. It's making me mean. It's making me hate them.
It's not making you're choosing to hate them. They can't make you do anything.
I'm so unhappy with the situation that I have
you can pity them. That would be better.
That's what I was doing 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Now it's turned into hate.
Okay.
That's not a healthy direction.
The emperor.
I got to agree completely with what you're saying.
The emperor is up there in his Death Star. He's cackling right now. Yes, use your hate, Conan. Your mask.
So you've been dealing with masks, right? Because you work for a government agency.
I'm all over the place.
About what he does on the.
I'm all over the place.
The post office.
Supposedly, everyone in my outfit is wearing masks except us carriers. We basically go in, we do our thing, and then we get out there and we're just driving up and down the rural countryside. We don't get close to anyone really. And when I get to your house, I'm just throwing your package. Well, not throwing, but I am placing your package on your porch. And then running off.
Did you recently get a complaint about damaged packages?
No.
Okay.
I'm a good guy.
Just like throwing them up there. I mean, not throwing them. Delicately setting them there.
I get tips in Christmas time. I get cookies.
Okay.
Sometimes actually money. My guys are happy with me. But no, but I do
You're
have.
Not worried about getting COVID from one of the cookies?
I am not. No, give it to me. It's just. Hey, it's a way to build your immune system. No, one of my part-time non-essential positions have demanded that we wear masks in the office, and I told them straight up, we're not going to do it. Whenever you lift this nonsense rule, I'll come back and do some work for you.
Oh, so you walked?
I'm out. So I'm already. I'm one job down.
Okay.
I have.
For standing up.
So you didn't think about trying. Sorry, you didn't think about trying like a religious or medical exemption?
Well, Here on Saturday.
Okay.
All right. So Saturday, I was still on the clock. I'd been out all day, and I went and stopped at Tractor Supply in Walpole.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an armful of stuff, and I was walking into the building, and a young lady says, "Sir, do you have a mask?"
You were walking into what building? Where you worked?
Tractor Supply.
You were shopping.
I was shopping.
Okay.
And I had stuff.
You were coming in with stuff.
Correct.
Okay.
That was out. It was outside. The woman said, "Sir, do you have a mask?" I'm like, and I knew where it was going. I'm like, "No, I do not have a mask." And she's like, "Well, it's been mandated by Prince Sununu."
Did she say that?
No, she said Governor Sununu that all employees and customers wear masks.
But that has not been mandated.
That's a lie.
No, it is an absolute lie. Of course, I had been out all day. This is the afternoon on Saturday, and I knew what the mandate was going to be, but I hadn't had time to look it up, and I was still on the clock. So I took my stuff that I had, and I placed it in the aisle, and I walked out of there.
Nice.
And I took my business to Home Depot. So
They didn't give you a hard time?
So they lost. Home Depot still got their lines outside,
Mm-hmm.
and 90% of the people inside are wearing masks, but they haven't given me a hard time yet. Someone that we know went into the Keene Family Dollar the same day. I think it was Saturday or Sunday.
Yep.
He got thrown out.
Thrown out, or the sign on the door said you couldn't go?
No,
in
he
with
went in there.
masks?
He had his camera. He's got it all on video.
Really?
And the lady accosted him, and he got video of people in there.
How come I haven't seen this video yet?
We'll watch it during the break.
All right.
Yeah, I want to see this.
So, and there were people in there, by the way, didn't have masks. So maybe they had said, I have asthma. I'm an old woman. I have asthma. I can't deal with this. And they got by. I don't know. But he went in there and he stirred it up a little bit. But yeah,
Nice.
it's coming down, man. There's an establishment in Bedford, Michael's, the art store.
Yep.
Masks, mandatory masks. Even though we know Prince Sununu, his executive order doesn't say anything about customers having to wear masks yet. That hasn't come
They
yet.
certainly don't. You could always just say, no, I'm exempt. I don't have to wear one.
Yep.
See how that goes.
Yep.
855-450-FREE.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And the next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. But there's no need to wait. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes that allow anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's diviproject.org. Now, we're talking about masks here, and your particular experiences with masks, Conan, and the experiences of this local who went to the Family Dollar here in King, but ultimately was not, it turned out, thrown out.
Correct. Point of correction. He was accosted, and he caught some people in there, by the way, who didn't have masks for whatever reason.
Accosted, well,
that's
maybe,
the right term.
It's literally true, but I think it's probably a bit loaded.
The woman
he
was
confronted by an employee.
A verbal confrontation is to be accosted.
She was ready to throw. If she was muscular, she would have grabbed him.
No, she wouldn't.
Oh, yes, she would have.
She never came
yes,
within
she would
20
have.
feet of him.
And how he got out of it was he claimed medical condition.
That's right.
Now the other option,
she was just like, I'm going back to work.
Yes, exactly. The other option would be to claim religious exemption, and
or just claim exemption and don't tell them the reason why, because it's not their business.
Do that. And I'm wondering how many people who are upset with this new normal, this new abnormal, are going to be able to do that, because it's not easy. I mean, no one wants to rock the boat. No one wants to go in there. It's someone else's. I don't.
Okay.
It's someone else's property. It's someone else's business and their affairs, and they feel. I think that girl who accosted him felt that she probably didn't want to wear the mask, but she probably felt that it's necessary. That in order to get past this, we have to all hunker down. We all have to, put our muzzles on.
Yep. Now let's talk about the fact that in this same video, which we will link at discord.freetalklive at some point, or in the Telegram chat that people follow, there's an old woman standing between the employee and the guy who made the video.
Clearly no mask.
And she is not wearing a mask.
She's checking out at the register, so she's been in the store the whole time. It's not like she just
So
goes in there.
did she get a waiver because she's just an old person, or did she claim some exemption as well?
Well, it's hard to confront an old lady,
Exactly.
But this cis white man who walked in.
Oh, no, we can't have this.
Yes.
But
he's killing the world with his not wearing a mask.
Global
warming.
I've had a couple of days to stew on this, because I'm seeing more and more posts like this of people claiming certain establishments are coming down with this new rule, and like I said, I've already walked one job. I wasn't making a whole lot of money there, but a little bit of my income was coming from that place, and I'm waiting for the rest of the hammer to fall. And we're not even at the mandatory vaccines yet.
Nope.
That's coming, and they want it. These people want it so bad, and there are people who are so fed up with this nonsense. They'll be lining up.
It'll make them feel better. It'll make them feel like they're doing something, they're contributing, and that all is well.
No, they just want to be normal again. They want to go back to work, and they want to be out in public. They'll do whatever. A couple of weeks back, we were making the joke
do they
about.
Not realize that wearing masks in public is literally keeping things from being normal?
Exactly. We're all muzzled like farm animals.
I'm not muzzled, and I won't be muzzled.
Exactly. And we're going to get into this article that's going to talk about how they see us without our muzzles, and it makes them angry.
They get mad.
They
sure.
get that. Look at those. Oh my God, those boat rockers over there. They're whale poisoners. What are they? Oh, they're going to get us all killed.
Well,
and here I am uncomfortable. I'm all sweating, and I'm fogging up my glasses because I've got this stupid muzzle on. And look at that person over there who's free. This is slave on slave mentality.
Well, right. And then I see him in the chat room tonight, but Stefan in Ohio called last night and called me a jerk because I said I didn't care. And you know what? I don't care about all of this fear-mongering stuff, and I don't care about how you feel about it. If you feel so afraid, you should stay home, you should lock yourself up, and you should follow all the quarantine procedures you want to follow. I'm not obligated to do it, and I don't feel bad about how you feel about it.
Go on Amazon and get yourself one of them Bubble Boy outfits.
Right.
And pump some oxygen into it. You'll be just fine.
If you put a Bubble Boy outfit on and you can't fit through the front door of my business, it is not my responsibility to widen the door frame for you.
Well,
no, it's my responsibility to take out my video camera and put that on YouTube.
That'll be next year's legislation, Ian, where you'll have to comply with Bubble Boy.
Bubble Boy
and make sure your bathroom is able to fit him as well, and has special a conveyor belt for him.
How do you pee in the Bubble Boy outfit? That doesn't sound like fun.
Pee into your diaper.
There you go.
All right, so let's get on with this article.
Your mask is making you meaner. Because you're wearing one, you're mad at everyone else who isn't. You can't say with any certainty or evidence that you know you're right to wear one or that the other person is wrong not to. But that's what you're told.
Oh, they're certain.
And you believed it. So you decided.
Well, they think they are, and that's scary.
So you decided to get a mask and wear it, and yes, it's a pain, but you believe it's part of the noble collective effort to work together and to do something big. And I say it's a pain, but let's be honest, a good chunk of you excitedly see your masks as a fashion accessory that make you look cooler, hotter, or just more woke. And when you look, if I go through my social media right now, I would say 20% of them are dudes and women's with their masks on. And they'll have designs, and they'll make.
It's a social statement.
They'll be making their own masks out of what it's some fabric that they got at Michael's or whatever.
I was telling Arya this before the show tonight. I got back from going to Curry Indian here in town, which is an Indian restaurant that takes cryptocurrency. And while I'm standing outside waiting, there were, of course, other customers coming up, and sadly, all of them had masks on. There were like 3 people. So I was the only person without a mask on. Also, Mohammed, the owner, did not have a mask on.
And this is pickup only?
They do delivery, but yeah, takeout.
No, I'm waiting for what people with their masks do when they get and are sitting down.
They're not allowed to sit down.
10 feet apart. No, when they actually do open the restaurants.
Oh, I see.
It's going to be 20% only, and you have to wear your mask until you eat. Are these mask wearers even going to go in and attempt to?
I've got an article about that, Conan. That's a good question. But just to the whole fashion statement thing, there was a guy that had a smiley face. I didn't notice it, but the girl who was wearing a mask did, and she complimented him. Oh, I love your mask.
God.
I love the smiley face. And then he talked about how somebody else made it for him. And now it's a thing, right? Like this is a thing that these people can relate to. They're abuse victims. Right, so this is your typical victim-on-victim violence that you see, and so they can relate to their common abuse, and now they have little chats about their masks and
they
things
were
like that.
And they were probably talking behind your back whenever you left.
Why that
son of a gun. So yeah, it's a fashion accessory to some. It's a being woke accessory. But whether you love or hate wearing it, when you see someone who isn't, you take it personally. You've been told that the person doesn't care about your health and safety, Mr. Freeman, and you believed it.
I don't care about their health and safety. Their health and safety is their responsibility, not mine. I care about my health and safety and the health and safety of people I care about, but I'm not going to try to save the world. It's not my responsibility to.
True that.
Let the individuals take care of their own health and safety. What do you think? 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE as in freedom.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
I just heard the best sales pitch I've heard in a long time on an airplane. The flight attendant announced, "If you paid more than $75 for your round-trip ticket, you overpaid." This is brilliant because everybody on the flight paid more, and I was struck by how all the road warriors stopped typing and reading and working and looked up. The announcement invited us to apply for the airline's credit card, and the sign-up bonus, enough frequent flyer miles for a free round trip. Talk about turning lemons into lemonade. With some banks offering free credit cards, $75 is an outrage for an annual fee, but a bargain for airline tickets. For more tips on communicating more effectively, hit survivalspeech.com, where you can see how I got the CEO of another major airline to shower me with freebies. I'm Holland Cook.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Helen.
About almost 3 decades ago this fall, little creatures appeared in my consciousness.
Little creatures?
And they introduced themselves to me as Matilda and Mumford Rabbit.
Huh.
They come from a higher planet, more spiritually evolved. Matilda Rabbit has a habit of using God's gift of free speech. Matilda Rabbit has the habit of snoring in her sleep, but not before she does implore the Lord her soul to keep.
Is it the same God?
Oh, yeah. Jesus is their word and way on all planes.
Why would they care about Jesus? They don't even live on this planet.
Right. How would they even know? Because Jesus was on our earth, right?
Well, Jesus is not on this planet alone. He's everywhere.
Did he die on a cross in outside of Jerusalem and the other planets too?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And we're talking now about masks and this notion that masks are making people meaner. But as Conan pointed out, not wearing a mask is also making him meaner.
It's making me meaner, and it wasn't 2 weeks ago, but
so I don't think it's the masks that are fault. It's just this new social construct that has split people into two camps, and America is horrifically divided on every subject. So this is just a new subject for people to hate each other over, instead of whether or not they're Democrats or Republicans or Christians or Muslims or male or female. It's just mask or not mask.
I think my level, my group, I think we're so insignificant that we couldn't be considered like the other tribe, the other party, the other, the B group, because I just don't think a lot of people are where I'm at right now. When I
And what is that? Just the whole not wearing a mask thing?
When I go out and I see all these slaves, and I realize that they are the ones punching holes in the bottom of this ship. They are helping the powers that be bring this ship down even quicker. These slaves are making it worse for us freedom lovers, where we see through the charade, we see through the scam, the hype, and we understand, what this is leading to. And I'm sorry, these people are doing harm to me. They could be out in my yard, breaking my windows with rocks. This is how I see them. They could. This is
not that different than how they see you, then, right? Because if they think that you're harming people by the fact that you don't have a mask on, you're saying they're harming you by the fact that they do have a mask on, and that makes them obedient, which is helping the system take over faster. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch. I see where you're coming from, but I would caution you to not become that which you despise. And that sounds a lot like becoming that which you despise.
The Emperor has told me to harness my hatred.
Because look, Conan, these people already existed, all right? So all the mask has done is made them visible to you. So now when you see 100 people, now you know there's one of them, there's one of them, there's one of them, there's 50 of them, there they are, right? And either they completely agree with the mask and are totally indoctrinated, or they're doing it to go along to get along because they don't want to be ostracized. But either way, they're in that camp.
I hope it's that, because when I go into to Walgreens and I see 90%.
Was it 90%?
When I go into Home Depot and it's above 60, 70% of everyone wearing these masks.
I felt it was like half and half when I was in Walmart the other day.
Yeah, when I go shopping, I don't even think it's half and half. I think it's maybe 30% of people are wearing masks.
Well, I haven't been in Dirt Mart in a while, but I know Home Depot on Sunday was really bad.
I also work in an essential business, and maybe 10% of people come in wearing masks.
Really? That's
maybe.
good. Well, that's good because you're in one place long enough to kind of see that. Yeah. But then again, on the other hand, you may be experiencing a self-selection kind of situation where, because the people who are coming in are more likely to leave their homes to get food, they're also less likely to wear a mask, right? Because the people who are really afraid, they're not going out.
Good. That's what they should do. They should sit at home in their little isolation chamber, safe from the people out there not wearing masks.
Right.
And when you can't pay your bills, don't expect that stimulus bailout that you're probably waiting for. And that's what it's really boiled down to.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of these people would wake up and would have woken up a long time ago if they didn't realize that there was a potential bailout right across the horizon. And that's where it's at. People would come to their senses. They would come to reality if they knew that they weren't
getting paid,
that there wasn't going to be a bailout. If they knew that there going to be absolute consequences, all right, well,
there's going to be consequences. They just don't see them.
90-year grandma might actually die this year from pneumonia, but is that going to be even any worse than a family of 4, 2 kids, wife? We've been out of work for 2 months and we can't pay. We're never going to catch up to this.
Mm-hmm.
Would that reality actually, bring them back to reality?
I don't know. I think people seem so far gone.
I think that it would, but people, but we have gone too far down this. Tread on me harder, Daddy. Bail me out, Daddy. Whenever I make a mistake.
Yeah. I share your frustrations, Conan. I really do. I just don't share the hatred. I don't.
I think
find that productive.
I think hatred's a strong word.
Okay.
I think that I am so dissatisfied with humanity right now.
Yeah, they're disappointing. They're very disappointing. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I expected a little bit better, but maybe I shouldn't have. But here we are, and now we're I would say even more in the minority than we were previously. Like before COVID, we were already pretty much in the minority as far as a very, very small segment of the population being voluntarist, libertarian, anarchist types.
Free thinkers.
Now there's a schism within the voluntarist, libertarian, anarchists because some of them want to stay home and they're afraid or whatever. So now our group has split yet again, as it has many a time. And here we are, in the minority of a minority.
Same my same that I was just talking about just now. Consequences. You need to get the panels. You need to get the scales out. You need to weigh the consequences. Is your 90-year grandma dying worse than you not being able to you losing your home, your children starving, you being so depressed because of all of this that you go and shoot yourself 6 months from now because you can't handle it anymore because life sucks so hard because of what you allowed to happen.
Conan, you can't make that judgment for them any more than they can say one or the other for you and have the state enforce it.
It has to be their decision.
Right.
But
the entire problem here is that they had the government come in and force you to accept their decision on it. Oh, no. It's better for grandma to stay alive than it is for the family of 4 to wake up homeless, right? That was the decision the government made with these lockdowns, and these people supported
people went along with it.
The people wanted it.
But we can't force otherwise on them just because we don't like their way.
I mean, we
should do
badmouth
our thing, and they should do their thing.
We badmouth government a lot, and the powers that be, the people who are pulling the strings. But you know what? They wouldn't exist unless they weren't representing what the people actually wanted. The people want this. The selfish people out there are more afraid of dying than actually thinking about reality.
Yeah,
Everybody's
they
selfish.
say you're selfish because you're more concerned about freedom than the fact that other people could die.
Right. See, that's what we were getting from the hater that called in last night was, essentially saying that, oh, well, you're saying your freedom is more important than society. You're saying, you're being selfish, basically.
The society is built on freedom. Once you take that away, that's where we start going downhill.
Yeah.
The downward spiral begins when you start removing freedoms from us, and that's when it starts.
I would agree, but they care about a different downward spiral. They care about the one where people are dying because of freedom. The way they see it.
That's how they see it. But you know what? To all you out there, all you selfish people,
if you want to stop hating them, you have to stop calling them selfish and recognize their humanity and their good intentions.
Well, I'm a cynic. Everyone is selfish.
Yeah, everyone is selfish.
That's my whole thesis on life.
They're selfish. Their value set is different than yours.
I'm saying that they're being unrealistic. I'm saying that you're afraid of dying, but what you're doing is going to cause so much more death, so much more impoverishment, so much more.
But you can't prove that. You can
no. I can't.
You can say so much more. This could be so much worse if you hadn't done this, or this is going to be so much worse because you did do this. Those are all hypotheticals.
All I could do is
basically Fauci standing up there saying this would have been so much worse if we didn't have the lockdowns.
All I could do is throw him a history book. This is what happens. This is what happens when you allow government to encroach on your lives like this and take more and more of your freedoms.
Well, it's already started. I mean, there've already been increased numbers of people calling suicide hotlines. We've seen numbers of people killing themselves specifically, citing their depression over the current circumstances. And it's going to be something that will become more apparent. They can't see it. They can't see the future. They see only what's in front of them right now. And what they see in front of them right now is the potential for grandma to die. And they love their grandma, and they don't want grandma to die. And so they're going to just do whatever they can to help save grandma and that other person and their friends' grandmas.
And themselves. Themselves. Sure. I mean, they're saying it's for grandma, but it's really they're afraid of dying.
That's got to be a factor.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they'll say it all day long. Yeah. Grandma. But no, it's themselves, because yes, they're all selfish, but you have to come to a point where you bring reality into the equation. What am I actually losing? Are my kids going to starve next year because of food shortages, which is where it's going?
You're losing all kinds of cool things that we don't get anymore, like concerts,
restaurants,
conventions.
This is Free Talk Live.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
Hand sanitizer is not an option, it's now a must-have. But where can you find it? Online at 2020safe.net. The highest quality hand sanitizer that destroys microorganisms and prevents transmission of pathogens. Now available in a 1-liter bottle with a bonus at 2020safe.net. When you order a 1-liter bottle of our high-quality hand sanitizer, you'll receive a 30-count bottle of Immune Booster, a $14.95 value, free by using code GCN at checkout. 2020safe.net offers many natural products to help support health and help you live a more fulfilled life. life. From germ-zapping hand sanitizer to immune-building nutraceuticals to natural stress, anxiety, and sleep aids, 2020safe.net has what you need in stock today. Just click 2020safe.net. That's 2020safe.net to get our 1-liter bottle of high-quality hand sanitizer with your bonus free 30-count bottle of Immune Booster. Remember to enter GCN at checkout and the bonus is yours free. Go now to 2020safe.net.
Houseflies defecate every 4 to 5 minutes, spreading diseases and germs. Protect your food and your health with Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic, no batteries required, only $39.95. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com that allows you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash using dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposits, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site. And all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. So finally, you have a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Again, that's local.bitcoin.com. Let's go to the phones. We've got Jaram calling from Uganda. Jaram, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, good evening. I'm so happy to be on Free Talk Live again.
Welcome back.
Mwesige Joram.
Yep.
Mwesige Joram.
What's on your mind?
Yes. Actually, the COVID-19 has brought a lot of restriction on liberty.
Yeah.
Everywhere you hear people, actually, the government telling people to live in a certain way. They're restricting people's liberty. That
one more time, what was that?
He said they're restricting people's liberty, telling them to live in a certain way.
Okay.
Yes, they're telling us You must get masks, you must use masks. Actually, if you look at the certain percentage of people in Africa and Uganda in particular, the people who cannot afford a meal each day, they're telling them to buy masks.
Right. You can't afford to
And
eat
if
already.
yes,
You know?
people actually 90% of the country's population is very poor, but the government is telling them you must get masks, and the government has no provision of that. The government is collecting money from people in form of tax, but the service from the government is very poor.
Yep.
And today they have been collecting money, the nation from people, and the money has been misused, and they cannot buy masks to the people. If
Right,
you
so
see
they're literally the people in Uganda are already impoverished, right? Like it's not a particularly wealthy place. They're already spending a significant amount of money just to get the whatever bills they have paid and possibly eat some food at the end of the day, maybe. And now the government's saying
yes, of
now
course,
you have to buy a bunch of
that's
masks.
how it is. But of course, the government is getting a lot of money from people, but in return, the government does not does not give the best service.
Oh no!
Today, the government is trying to provide people with food, but the food, of course, the inefficient of the government. The food which is given to the people is rotten. Actually, most times, beans are not they are poor quality. And recently, the Speaker of Parliament was complaining the government gave expired milk to the young people. So everything you see the government trying to touch on, it has a lot of bureaucracy, inefficiency.
Bureaucratic
Actually,
inefficiency.
since the outbreak of Ebola, of COVID-19, the government tried to supply food to the central districts. But up to now, most people are quarreling. Some of them are striking, they're attacking offices and residents of the leaders because food has not reached in those areas.
Right.
And
yeah, you think
the
it's
government
bad in the United States?
The president has passed a directive in case if a leader or a politician is found giving people food, or if you attempt to give food to your neighbor, of course you are going to be penalized. You are going to be charged with attempted murder. That is what is called challenging actually the people.
Jerome, say
and
that?
actually some of the leaders like MPs have been arrested and tortured by the government.
So you get punished if you give out food to people.
Follow what is happening in Uganda. Those who are in opposition.
So to be clear, you can be charged
they're
with
not allowed
hold on. You can be
to
charged
supply food.
You can be charged.
Anybody.
He may not be able to hear you.
The government set, of course, a task force in charge of collecting food from everyone who wants to donate to the people. And the government has used that as politics. Actually, has used to popularize itself.
Wait, see, can you hear us? Can you hear us? I think we're having a bad connection. I think it's to the point where he's just talking and he can't hear the other side.
What I heard from that was he's dealing with basically the mafia.
Well, yeah, that's the governments are.
Who are the charitable individuals out there. They're killing people. They're leading people by the nose, but they're also giving out the presents. They're giving out the gifts.
Well, they're giving out rotten gifts.
Well,
that's what he said.
But if anyone else is to step in and to outshow them, sleeping with the fishes, bruh. You can't do that. You can't outshine us. You can't outdo us.
By the way, 42.7 million people live in Uganda, according to Google.
That's a lot of folks.
And according to they're probably not as on it with the testing as some of the other nations are, but so far only 129 confirmed cases. But
I know
total lockdown. Don't give out any food. All the same crap that every other country, almost every other country on the planet is facing, it seems like.
I can't remember which country it was, but they basically says we're not using your stupid COVID tests anymore because we tested them on a papaya and a goat.
Oh, yeah, and it came up positive, right?
Both of them.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep going. We got Matt calling from California. Matt, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, hi. I wanted to say a couple of things. One, the government out here does not represent the people. If you look it up, there's a movement out here that's been going on for a long time. It's called the State of Jefferson.
Yep.
Our government, Republican, Democrat, they serve the same agenda of empowering the government. And I'm telling you, out here, about 70% aren't wearing masks.
Really?
About 30 are. there's still some of the liberal propaganda up here, but we're the most heavily armed area in California. And I see what's happening with the COVID thing as, I don't want to say a win for liberty, because it's not, but it's definitely opening more eyes to people who were just kind of lackadaisical with what's going on.
What concerns me is that it's opening a lot of people's eyes to BS, like the Plandemic documentary. Everyone's like, have you seen Plandemic? Watch it now before it gets pulled from YouTube. But they're pulling it from YouTube immediately, so there must be truth to it. No, just because they're pulling it doesn't mean it's true.
Well, no, I agree with you on that, but I can tell you that the people here, they don't really care what the government is saying anymore because they don't serve us. They don't serve us at all. In fact, the more the government of California pushes, the more people are buying guns and planting food because they're coming to the realization that at some point they're going to have to use force to defend themselves from the state that does not serve the people here. And the media is in bed with them. I mean,
sure.
I don't listen to your show as often as I could really like to say I do, but I can tell you the media here is more Nazi Germany propaganda than even remotely close to what's going on out
Absolutely.
here.
Operation Mockingbird. All of the deep state agencies are heavily involved in mainstream media, including Hollywood.
What is Operation Mockingbird?
That's where the CIA they infiltrated Hollywood basically to control the American people for our own good. They wanted to inspire nationalism and whatnot, and they finally agreed to it many years later. But they never said it was over. They're still heavily embedded in mainstream media.
Well, I wouldn't even say mainstream media. I'd say even local papers. I mean, our local paper here in my community is so dishonest that it's not worth even using for birdcage liner.
Good stuff.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for the call. It's definitely been fascinating to see how different states have been reacting to this. And California and New York, they are among those states that I would have expected to be most, I don't want to say liberal in their response because that's obviously not correct, but most leftist in their response, most pro-mask, pro-shutting down, pro-fear.
Well, he's in Northern California. It's a different. Yeah. They've been trying to secede for like the last 10 years.
He mentioned that. He brought up the state of Jefferson, which is one of the secession movements up there.
Those are country boys up there.
Yeah, they want to get out of California, and unfortunately, they haven't had any success at that yet. But I wish them the best. I hope that does pan out.
No, L.A. County is talking about another 3 months of lockdown, and they're serious about it.
Months?
Oh yeah. So they're crazy.
The city people are totally like crazy with this stuff for sure.
By the way, that country was Tanzania. That was a papaya and a goat. Both tested positive for COVID, and the president there was like, "We don't want your stupid tests. This is a bunch of bull crap." And yeah, I mean, there's no telling how many of these tests have been false positive all along.
Right.
And it just completely ruined the statistics and making us doing exactly what
they want. Fear.
They want the fear. They want the muzzles.
Well, the statistics were never, good or useful in the first place. I mean, they never had good statistics, and they never will.
From the get-go, 2.2 million people were supposed to die in America. Neil Ferguson, you piece of crap.
2.2 million. They said 2.2 million.
Neil Ferguson. The models that were created, this whole lockdown was because of his computer models. 2.2 million.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,709, silver at $15.64, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,841. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, going out to your local bar or restaurant once the coronavirus lockdown ends might come with a steep price. That's because 3 cities in Louisiana, Texas, and Missouri will only allow non-essential businesses to reopen if they agree to collect customers' personal information. Activist Post, citing NOLA Ready, reports the Department of Homeland Security and the City of New Orleans are creating a new normal by forcing bars and restaurants to collect customers' personal information. As Forbes.com explains, the new normal is for bars and restaurants to become government snitches. 2 different articles in NOLA.com reveal how DHS and the City of New Orleans plan to use COVID-19 contact tracing as an excuse to record customers' personal information. An article titled "Customer Logs Will Be Kept Under New Normal Amid Coronavirus in New Orleans" explains the plans of the DHS. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Astronomers and other experts have not been shy about voicing their opposition to the Federal Communications Commission, allowing companies to send tens of thousands of satellites and other spacecraft into the sky to blast 5G and Wi-Fi. Now, more unsavory individuals and companies want to send satellites up as well in order to spy on us. Activist Post cites News Punch in saying that almost every corner of the planet will soon be monitored by video surveillance satellites, capable of live streaming coverage of human activity for governments and large enterprises, if Bill Gates gets his way. Microsoft founder Gates is bankrolling a company that is using a $1 billion initial equity allocation from investors to plan a network of satellites to provide real-time coverage of almost every location on Earth. Washington-based company Earth Now plans to launch an army of more than 500 satellites into the atmosphere, providing its users with near instantaneous video feedback with only 1 second of delay. With more than 5,000 service members infected with COVID-19, the United States Army has issued a contract notice on the System of Award Management, known as SAM website, seeking to develop a wearable diagnostic capability for the very early symptomatic detection of COVID-19 infection. Activist Post reports the notice is a request for project proposals through the Medical Technology Enterprise Consortium, which was posted Monday on SAM. It says 10 contracts totaling $25 million could be awarded in weeks to companies that can help the Army rapidly field wearable coronavirus detectors, a move that would be an early warning sign to stop spreading. It said the bidder must have an established manufacturing capability for the platform and to say kits on a large scale. Testing is expected to be minimally invasive, and the device should not affect a soldier's general movement while in the field. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
In a survey, nearly 100% of boys ages 12 to 15 report that they have sex all the time and are definitely not virgins. Teens say they've gone all the way on numerous occasions, including vaginal sex, oral sex, and regular sex orgies.
Previous studies suggested that most boys lose their virginity at 16 or 17. But when we gathered 13-year-olds in a room and asked them if they'd had sex, they not only said yes, but they also were clear that sex was no big deal for them, that they weren't nervous before having it, and that when they do have sex, they do it for hours at a time.
And you discovered that these young teenagers have sex with nearly every attractive woman they know, including their babysitters, teachers, and even Hollywood celebrities.
10% of boys in junior high school say they received a blowjob from Katy Perry while they were on vacation in Los Angeles.
And what about teenage girls? Did your study find out anything new about their sexual habits?
We didn't talk to any teenage girls. The boys we surveyed told us not to because they'd probably just lie and deny it.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in to talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-4733. And with you tonight, it's Arya.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
I don't know if I just said the number correctly. 855-450-3733 is the number. I don't know what I said.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. It was autopilot for a moment. So apparently, masks are making people meaner and dumber, according to this article that Conan has brought in. So tell us more about this, Conan.
And during the break, I did have the opportunity to think about the "I hate people" comment. I don't hate people.
Okay.
But it has made me angry.
Yeah.
For sure. So, no, I don't hate little old grandma, little 70-year-old grandma who's giving me the stink eye in Walgreens because I'm not wearing a mask. But
yeah, it's not anger for me as much as it is like maybe frustration with people, like just watching them in their masks going around. It's like, oh,
like zombies,
man.
like zombies.
Yeah, and you used the term pity earlier, and I think that's probably a more appropriate term for how I feel about it. It's like, man, these people just had the wool pulled over their eyes. They'll go along to get along. They'll do anything,
and those,
as long as they're afraid.
And those are the people who I fear in the long run. We were talking about, I'm talking about consequences for the whole last segment.
Well, they're the reason why things get worse.
Exactly. The people I'm afraid of throwing rocks through my window are stealing my material wealth. These are the people. The people that just go along to get along. The
How are
zombies
they
wearing their
stealing
masks.
your material wealth?
He's talking about they could.
I'm talking about down the road. I'm talking about the true consequences of this pandemic. This is where it's going. People are going to be hungry. They're throwing meat out. They're throwing produce out. They're dumping milk down the drains.
Well, in some places, but Mississippi's governor passed some sort of executive order that allows people in Mississippi to directly buy produce and meat from the farmers of Mississippi.
As long as they're out is close enough to the farm where they can get to it, I'm not worried about them.
Like 90%
I'm not
farm.
worried about our last caller from Jefferson who's up in the country and they've all got guns. I'm worried about the cities. I'm worried about Boston.
That's the entire state of Mississippi.
I'm worried about Boston. And they're starving, and they're like, "What do we do?
People
We're hungry."
in a city,
and they go out to the countryside. They come out where we live.
I suppose
they come to New Hampshire, they go and get shot.
Well, they need to go. They need to go south, because we're going to get.
They're going to get shot in the South.
And if
they'll
you
get shot more.
And even if you think you can go over to hippie Vermont, you're going to get shot because they got guns too. So I'm just.
But I don't think any of that is going to happen at this point. I think this is just the test run for 2 or 3 years from now.
Wait for the second wave. That is only going to come because we did.
That's my point. The second wave is going to come 2 or 3 years from now.
No, it's going to come this year.
Summer, right?
It's going to come this year. You know why? Because no one has built up huge immunity.
The economy
immunity.
The economy will be
because
in too bad of a shape.
They've been quarantined so long, they haven't had the opportunity to build up their immunity.
I understand, but you're presuming that the disease is actually a threat to people, so the immunity is going to matter. I don't think it is. I think the whole narrative from the media and the government is probably completely fabricated.
It's not a threat. It is
right.
just that. It's the fabrication. People are going to swallow. They're going to swallow it up.
That's my point. They won't be able to because the economy is going to be in such dire straits at that point.
Not if they get stimulus package number 2.
That's not going to make the economy any better.
No, it's going to keep people alive for a little bit longer. It's going to keep them occupied playing video games and watching the Tiger King season 2. Is that coming?
No.
Actually, no.
He's in prison.
Are they going to have Nick Cage do a series
they're talking about doing a Nick Cage series. That'll keep them occupied for a little bit longer.
So anyway, I don't see this as being the big one. I just don't see how it could be.
Well, I mean, it's big. It just could be worse. You know, I mean, as far as the impact that's big is the impact to our liberties, the impact to society, the impact to the availability of food, products, jobs, and I think we're only just starting to see that impact right now. That's what's going to get worse.
This is the wake-up call, and my frustration is I don't think enough people who are even considering it. I think there's too many Aryas out there that you don't think this is it, and I'm saying no. And you know what? It doesn't even matter if it's not it. We have to.
It matters significantly. If this isn't the big, this is a test run for what they actually want to do.
Which is where you would want people to actually start waking up, and buying more ammo, what they're doing, buying more seeds and getting out and doing more gardening and raising more chickens, which they're not doing, which I've seen in my area. I've seen a lot more of it out in the woods, but I'm worried about my neighbors right next door to me who see what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Are you worried about them or are you afraid of them? Because there's a big difference between the two things.
I am aware that they're going to be that if they run out of food.
Okay, so you danced around saying you're afraid of them. Got it.
We're gonna have to hook up Webster's right there and figure out what the difference between afraid and aware is. I don't know.
You're aware of a threat that they pose to you.
Potential threat.
I'm aware of a potential threat. So I guess is that the definition of afraid? If it is, then yes, I'm afraid of my neighbors coming and encroaching on my personal space and wanting to take what I have, take my wealth. Because they had all this opportunity to work on themselves, work on their own, and they didn't because they thought it was just going to blow over and Trump was going to bail us all out. The government was going to bail us out. Big Daddy, thanks for the stimulus.
I have to disagree though. If you were saying you're saying there are more Aryas out there, that if that was true,
I think
things would be a lot better because more people would be buying Bitcoin and gold.
Absolutely,
we'd have a lot more hair color. It'd be really cool.
Yes, it would be.
What else do we need to know about this,
All right,
Conan?
so it makes you angry. It makes you crazy. I'm not going to skip, but I'm going to paraphrase. Your mask makes you afraid. Basically, what happens, according to this article, we have been, especially it's been all throughout human history, but especially prevalent in the last just this year. We've been told everything. We've been told what to do. Everything's been laid out for us. We've been told where we can go. We've been told who we can hang out with. We've been told how far we can stand from everybody. You walk into a store and they've got these damn arrows all over the place telling you where you can be and you can't walk a certain way.
The micromanagement is just absolutely insane.
And as far as I'm concerned, this is public school. You're being told everything you can do and everything you can't do, and you have to raise your hand to get permission to do things. And what that does is it prevents you from thinking on your own.
I think you'd be proud of me, Conan.
It makes you dumber.
I went to Price Chopper or somewhere recently, and they had.
You were intentionally walking up and down the wrong aisles?
No, I went one step further than that. They have this great big little rat maze you have to go through to even get to the checkout. You have to go all the way down here.
You were going underneath.
I just went underneath the road.
Nice.
I was doing that at Home Depot the other day.
There's no one in the way. It's like running a stop sign at 5 in the morning on a back road. You know,
I am proud of you. And by the way, I was doing it at Home Depot. I was doing the exact same at Home Depot. But you know what? So were other people.
I love to see that. And, to your point, though, about this micromanagement, Conan, of everybody being told what to do, what they can't do. I mean, the absurdity just continues. Here's a quickie from ABC7news.com, Santa Clara County, California, reporting that drive-by parades, which are the new way of celebrating, the new really lame now way of celebrating. I don't know. Have you heard about this?
A drive-by parade.
Yeah. So I saw there was
Isn't every parade sort of a drive-by parade?
I know, but now they're 60 miles an hour and they're launching candy at you with a candy launcher.
It's not like that. What it is like I saw the first time I saw this was some video actually from here in New Hampshire. I don't know if it was WMUR or the Sentinel or one of these news agencies, but it was like so and so's graduating today because it's high school / college graduation time, and so and so's graduating and their family celebrated by driving by and honking. So rather than like getting out of their cars and saying hello or giving them a hug, now the family or their friends or whoever, they just drive by, they honk their horns, and that's it. That's the new thing. That's what people are doing to celebrate.
And everyone is standing on their porch and they're banging on pots with spoons like they were in England.
No, that didn't happen. It's just people driving by and honking their horns. But in California, those are now prohibited. Calls have been coming in about the safety of drive-by parades in the county, and officials have decided to make it public that they do not fall under the shelter-in-place order. The county released the following statement about these new community celebrations. Quote, the rule has been in place since the first March 16th order, aimed at having people shelter in place at home, minimizing going out for anything that is not an essential function. Car parades were never envisioned as something that would be allowed because from a public health perspective, you want to minimize public gatherings.
Thanks, crazy people.
So people just staying in their cars and driving, that's now completely unacceptable in California. Can't do that.
And wear your mask while you're driving.
Right.
855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Saddle up. It's new Dynavite for horses.
Dynavite does give you quick results. One horse, the first time I fed Dynavite to her, she took off running across the whole pasture as fast as she could. You could just tell she felt great. And it doesn't take much, just one little scoop in their grain. I've been feeding Dynavite to my 5 horses, and within 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in their coat and their behavior. NASDAQ was a 3-year-old thoroughbred, and I only had 8 to 10 weeks to get this horse in shape for the Retired Racehorse Project last year. Dynavite really helped him to relax his muscles, regenerate, rebuild, and stay physically and mentally fit for the job. We got top 20. You do see horses take in these 15 different supplements that are all going to overreact with each other, and I think that would make a very confused horse. Simple is so much better. I get my Dynavite from DINOVIPE.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Well, now with AnyPay, you can earn a passive income for every purchase at those businesses. So you have, finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You make it happen, and you receive the rewards. Just download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. That's anypayinc.com. Commissions are instant. There's no waiting for weeks or months for your payout, no waiting for a certain threshold or whatever. It's instant. As soon as someone makes a purchase using Bitcoin Cash or Dash, you get a commission. So again, that's anypayinc.com. We highly recommend you check it out. Just about every business in the area that accepts cryptocurrency here in Keene does so using AnyPay, and it's incredibly convenient. I love everything about it. So coming out of Colorado is a restaurateur who has upset the government, which is not surprising. It's not hard to do that.
It's not surprising at all, not in these days.
No, it's increasingly easy.
Yeah, okay, so they shut down another restaurant who had opened up in violation of the state orders, and there was a follow-up headline that made it sound like he had reopened since the shutdown. That is not the case. He has not reopened since the shutdown. I either misread or whatever, but now it's becoming a little bit more clear. However, customers, the update from this story is today, customers have shown up to his business and have begun taping money to his front window. Awesome. Just as a show of support for this guy. Let me tell you a little bit about what happened here. This is according to DenverPost.com, the story out of Castle Rock, Colorado, where state health officials suspended the license of a Castle Rock restaurant, CNC Coffee and Korean Kitchen. They suspended his license after he'd opened to large Mother's Day crowds, a warning to other Colorado eateries that might also consider defying the statewide public health order that limits restaurants to takeout and delivery services. The restaurant presented a, quote, immediate health hazard, according to Jared Paulus, who's the governor, at the news conference, that its business license is now suspended until it no longer creates a threat to public health, likely for at least 30 days.
Not to mention threatening governor's authority.
Yeah, well, that's it. They can't just let somebody get away with this, because then other business owners are going to jump on board.
Be a domino effect.
And do the same thing.
But he had a crowd.
And it'll make the governor look stupid.
That's right.
So there were plenty of people willing to go out to his restaurant.
Yeah, and in fact, there was some cell phone video that was taken inside the restaurant showing the supermajority of people not wearing masks, not social distancing. It looked like a normal day at one of this, very busy restaurant. And boy, they can't have that. They can't just have people acting like everything is normal. So the story here at Denver Post, Paulus, who is the governor, again says, quote, I pray that nobody falls sick from businesses that choose to violate the law. But if the state didn't act and more businesses followed suit, it's a near guarantee that people would lose their lives. Which, of course, people are going to lose their lives every day anyway, so what would be different about that? And it would further delay the opening of legitimate businesses, unquote. The restaurant drew national attention after it opened to dine-in customers Sunday with crowds of people filling all the tables and the patios. Now, this is the guy that deserves the most praise, because there have been business owners so far who I've given praise to because they've opened up despite the order not to. Like, that's worth saying, attaboy, right? Like, that's worth giving them some credit.
Sure.
But they've almost all so far, with the exception of this guy in Colorado that we've heard of, all of these business owners have always been like, oh, well, we're social distancing. We're requiring masks. Yup, you got to wait outside the door. You can't come in yet. Oh, there's somebody in here.
We put our plexiglass window up in front of the register.
So they're all showing how obedient they are. Look how obedient we are. We just want to be able to open up.
They just want to make money so they don't fall through the cracks.
But this is the only guy who has been like, you know what, just come on in, sit where you want.
But the Texas lady, the Texas barber,
she was doing the same crap where you had to stay outside. You couldn't come in unless it was your appointment. There was no walk-ins. You had to make an appointment. You had to wear a mask as a customer. The whole thing. Look, it was all this signaling of, oh, look how obedient we're being. Really obedient. We really care about this COVID thing. This guy, I love it. He's just like, come on in, eat at your own risk, and the place was packed with people. The restaurant, again, drew national attention and remained open Monday afternoon despite the suspension and an order from the Tri-County Health Department to shut down. So he did open despite that, apparently. Customers continued to dine there. John Douglas, Tri-County's executive director, says, quote, it is disheartening that this restaurant has chosen to move ahead of the public orders and not even consider implementing best practices to prevent the spread of COVID-19. So the governor's office didn't immediately answer questions about how they will enforce the license suspension, the order to close, and the statewide mandate that restaurant workers wear masks when interacting with the public. Owners, Jesse and April Ariano, reopened the restaurant as a service to the community after receiving emails from customers who were tired of being cooped up and wanted to celebrate Mother's Day with a meal out. Jesse Ariano said Monday, quote, we're here to serve the people of the community any way we can help. And that's why we're in the business, to serve people, he said. I've seen a lot of love, and I've seen a lot of hate. We've gotten death threats. Quote, we're going to burn the place down. Quote, I hope all your family gets COVID and dies. Things like that, he says.
We've seen it. We've seen it here.
These people talk like they're acting out of compassion. Their goal is to prevent the spread of COVID, or so they claim. And then you have them on social media and sending emails that say things like, I hope you and your entire family die.
Yeah.
It's very confusing. It's not...
Well, it makes perfect sense when you think about it in terms of the us and them mentality that you were alluding to in the first part of the show.
And you want to talk about people who are hating others. Those people are hating.
Oh, yeah. They're at the top of the list of people who are hating.
Well, this is projection. These people are seriously angry. We're talking about me being angry. I think these people are seriously angry all the time, and this is just them projecting their ideals onto the rest of us.
I mean, it's also true that they have to hope that, because if he and his family don't get COVID and die, then it proves that he's right and they're wrong.
And that's what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
The restaurateur is going to survive all of this. It's going to make all of these haters look stupid, except they're not going to remember that they were filing these death threats.
Except maybe he won't survive it, at least as far as his business. The restaurant had complied with the state's restrictions for 2 months. He said he was in a tight spot financially.
And I mean survive COVID.
Okay.
He might die some other way.
Does. They have countless examples of this pastor defied quarantine and then he got COVID and died. They have plenty of examples of that.
They got like one.
It was one guy.
They got like one guy, and he was probably and I don't know.
Oh, dude, there's been dozens
of pastors dying.
No,
maybe not pastors, but protesters. This guy led this protest.
And he died. And he died of a heart attack a week later.
Quote, this is the owner of the restaurant. Everyone is tired of this, and they're ready to live life. What kind of life are we going to have if we're all scared to live and we're always in a bubble? No one wants to live like that. There are risks all over the place every day. There are animals who can hurt you in the mountains, but you don't stop going there. You can drown in the ocean surfing, but people still go. And he's right on.
Yep, they still rock climb, too.
They still what?
Hang glide and hot rock. And they're all the lefties, too. The crazies, the ones that live on the edge.
855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And we're talking about a restaurateur out of Colorado who is actually not just paying lip service to the ideas of running his business. He's not using any type of excuse about needing to provide for his family or anything. He's just saying, no, screw the government. I'm opening up the restaurant because this is what people in the community have asked for. And the government did not like that. So they pulled his license to operate, presumably. Mm-hmm. And it's unclear how they're going to enforce that, they say, but let's be honest here. We know how they're going to enforce it if he continues to try to operate his business.
Yeah, usually it's a certain number per day in fines is typical if you operate outside of whatever government permission slip that you have. Plus, there's also the possibility that he could face misdemeanor criminal charges for violating the public health order, which could be up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. But it's really the daily fines that hits a business the hardest. And another frustration of mine as somebody who's just sort of watching this, I don't have $1 million tied up in a restaurant or whatever, so I understand why businesses take the cautious road. I get it. Yeah. But, you know, if it's getting to the point where you're going to lose your business, where your entire investment is going to be lost because you can't open, or you can't open in the way that you want to open, at that point, what have you really got to lose? Well, I understand they're going to hit you with a bunch of fines. I get that. But why are people even talking about paying these fines? That's the only other disappointment. Otherwise, I love this guy. I mean, the things he says are spot on. He is like in favor of freedom, and hey, he understands risk is part and parcel of life, and he said some really great statements here. And then there's the question about, you know, what are they going to do about the fines? Are they going to pay the fines? Many business owners are talking about paying these fines, and it's like that's what the problem is. You're just encouraging these people if you pay them for abusing you like this. He's got customers who want to help. They're taping money. The latest story on this is that they're taping money to his front window because he is closed at the moment because they came in and they threatened him, and I guess he finally got scared. But let me go on with a couple of other things he had to say here.
Before we get further into that, let's go to the phones. We've got BitLoss calling. BitLoss, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, so as I was saying, I subcontract for a company, and I work directly on their facility. And, you know,
just
for a few weeks...
you were saying that to me during the screening process, so the listeners out there have not heard any of this.
Got it. So for a few weeks, they were giving the direct employees masks and refusing to give subcontractors masks, which I thought was a little crazy. But then they came up with this mandatory rule that everyone has to wear masks, and they started giving them to everyone. So, you know, I started wearing a mask, but I also have underlying health conditions. And after a few weeks, I started getting really bad migraines and having trouble breathing due to the mask.
Yep.
And so I went into work today and I just wasn't wearing it. And I was approached by another employee. He sent an email to my manager at the company I subcontract for, and it just went way up the chain. And so I got in a meeting with my manager. He said, okay, just for today, just put your shirt over your nose when you go out of your cube. And I was like, you know what, whatever. Okay. That's great. You know, it's not applying pressure to my head and causing migraines. So I did that. And apparently that was not okay, because then more emails went further up the chain. And then I was told if I'm seen without a mask, they'll escort me off the property. So it's just crazy. Like even
so your medical objection was not respected,
right,
is what you're saying?
Right. Yes. And on top of that, yeah. So it's emails are going to the HR department right now, but they're talking about some issues since I'm a subcontractor or whatever. It's just, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, the world of contractors and subcontractors, it's not going to help you much with HR, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm.
They probably can simply terminate your contract.
And replace you with someone who will wear a mask.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's they have work I can do from home, but they won't allow me to do it, even though they know I have a compromised respiratory system.
Now, why won't they allow you to do it? Because I'm pretty sure most of these governor's orders that have made it a, quote, requirement to wear a mask have also said if you can work from home, you should work from home.
So the way my tasks work is I do test cycles. And what I'm told is after I'm finished with a test cycle and I'm waiting for the next task to come, then I can use up to 20 hours of work from home time a week. But the problem is there's never any time between test cycles.
Okay.
So it's, it's like a fake,
right.
Way to get me work from time home.
Well, that's unfortunate. I do hope that it works out. I never thought about that in regards to subcontractors. Of course, I can fight this at my other place of employment because I'm sort of critical.
And you are fighting it.
Yeah, because I'm sort of critical to the functioning of the place. But for someone who, and I don't know whether or not he's good at his job, I'm presuming that he is, but a subcontractor is on the lowest totem pole of people who get cut. That sucks.
I think you're going to see more of it. Are you going to see more and more people complying with it and suffering all day long?
Until people start pushing back, it's just going to be more and more complying. Like you're saying, people are going to go along to get along. Well, at least this guy in Castle Rock isn't going along to get along. He's pushing back. And we mentioned earlier that he's been threatened. People saying they were going to burn his place down. People saying that they hope they all die from getting coronavirus. Yep. And also, he said, quote, I had one person from CBS 4's report on it, quote, I had one person call me a Nazi and a white supremacist. And I said, well, I'm not even white. I'm Spanish and Korean, he said. I mean, he doesn't look like a white dude, But people, they have their political opinions.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
Nazi is so much more powerful. It's all.
It doesn't. I've seen Iranians, people literally of Iranian descent, called white nationalists and white supremacists. It's like.
You're a Nazi because you're opening your business. You're a Nazi because you want people to choose, to have the freedom to choose. Okay.
I would say that the ones who are closest to the Nazis are the ones who are, emailing this guy's supervisors.
Anyone demanding that you comply and wear a mask, anyone demanding that you get a vaccine in order to go back to work, anyone demanding that you no longer go to parks or beaches any longer, and when you do, you have to be 10 feet apart. I'm sorry, re-look up the definition of Nazi because that's what you are.
Yep. He said, quote, if we mishandled food or whatever, they can intervene, and they do, he said about the Tri-County Health Department. He said, I understand they have the power. I'm just saying I disagree with the power because they're not elected. So he had a friend who showed up, Rob Taylor, family friend and customer, drove up from Colorado Springs to have a meal and support the restaurant. He said, quote, basically my stand is on the U.S. Constitution. We have the freedom of commerce. We have the freedom to do business. And our amendment rights and Constitution instructs me to, when I see something that maybe the government isn't doing right, to be bold enough to say, we're going to do it this way and we're going to honor God and our founding fathers, unquote. A sign on the restaurant's door. Now, this is what I was saying before. I said, I think people should just, if in this crazy new world, if you believe in freedom and you have a business, you should just put a sign up on the door that says, enter at your own risk. And just do it however you want inside your business. His sign says, quote, attention, our freedom doesn't end where your fear begins. I love that. Wow, what a great way to put what I was trying to say to one of our critical callers yesterday.
Here's another problem with all this that we're not thinking of. We're just talking about government fines and whatnot, but this man, insurance is very important when it comes to business owners.
Yeah.
If you don't comply with, say, city code or some law, your insurance company is going to renege on whatever happens. Even if your place burns down, it doesn't have anything to do with COVID.
Yep.
They're probably going to say, nope, you didn't comply with the mandate. No coverage for you, bro.
You're right. Yeah, they've got you screwed. The rest of the sign says, if you are scared, stay at home. If you are afraid to be within 6 feet of another business, do not enter this business. God bless America, land of the free, with quotes around it, and home of the brave.
Good. Love it.
I wish it was still true, but I think the fear of COVID has forever put to rest the notion that Americans are brave.
Yeah, most Americans not even close.
855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom.
You know what's really smart? Wash your hands frequently, practice social distancing, and stay home if told to do so. You know what's really dumb? To ignore your immune system.
Right now, more than ever, your health depends on a strong immune system.
The experts at Immunicorp will give you their 7-step guide to immunity for life, free.
Why? Because we want you to be smart and healthy.
Simply call 800-446-3063 or click immunityforlife.com.
Immunicorp has been producing the world's leading immune system products for more than 2 decades.
To get your free 7-step guide to immunity for life, call 800-446-3063. 800-446-3063.
Be smart. Don't ignore your immune system. Your life depends on it.
Call 800-446-3063 or click immunityforlife.com. Immunityforlife.com.
Now, with orders to stay at home, public health concerns, the reality of illness due to pathogens and viruses, your health is at an all-time high risk. That's why it's critical to take a proactive approach to boost your immune system. You can with new nanocolloidal silver from Americare, our patented process with tiny silver particles, 1/100th the size of a red blood cell, allows for maximum body absorption. Americare's nanocolloidal silver effectively disinfects your body internally, attacking pathogens and viruses while supercharging your immune system. Colloidal silver is antibacterial and antiviral. Simply put, it prohibits bacterial respiration, suffocating viral cells, preventing the virus from replicating. And now, due to public health concern, Americare is authorized to offer our lowest and best price ever, around $1 a day. But supplies are limited. Purchase nanocolloidal silver now at immunesupportnow.com. That's immunesupportnow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Supplies are limited.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
Now, cops have been doing a lot of bad things. That's always been true.
Mm-hmm.
But this cop that you brought to the studio tonight, well, you didn't bring
There's
a
no
cop
in here,
story
right?
About a cop. Yeah, that was very badly phrased. The story that you brought in about this cop was that he was talking about the unconstitutionality of these lockdowns or these mask requirements or whatever.
Oh, this is the cop that got fired.
Yes,
he's being fired. He's on leave right now, paid leave.
Okay, so he's on paid vacation.
Yeah, if you've ever listened to the show,
a violation of the rights of taxpayers in and of itself.
If you've ever listened to the show, you know we don't go easy on these good old boys because, well, we see a lot of what they do on a regular basis that you're not going to hear about in the papers, that you're not going to see in your bubble, on your social media bubble, because you're not. People aren't taking. People have so much. The bootlickers out there have so much respect for the blue guys, the blue boys, that they just see. They can't see what is actually taking place. They can't see the domestic abuse that's coming from cop families. They don't see the guy getting
40% of police officers who beat their spouses.
The 40% reported cases.
Yeah.
They don't see all of the.
Yeah, and if we're assuming that the reported number of COVID cases is low, we have to assume that the reported number of domestic violence cases among cops is low.
Now, the big claim out there is that they're not all bad.
Well, they don't all have to be bad.
They're not all bad, and we're like, yeah, you know what?
The expression, as they pointed out, it's not that a few bad apples have to be thrown out. It's that they ruin the whole basket.
Bunch. They absolutely do. And what happens, the reason that I don't think any of them are good is because when the good guy, because look at it this way, you've got bad cops, and then you've got cops who know about the bad cops, don't say anything. And you know what? In my book,
they're bad cops.
Those are bad cops.
Yeah.
And then you have the good cops, and they speak up, and they report, and they narc out their bad cop buddies, if you want to use that word, and they get fired.
See, I think good cop is an oxymoron. I think to be good, a cop would have to resign from the police force.
I would exactly, and I would refer to this guy. I would refer to this guy that we're about to talk to as a peacekeeper. I think he sees the Constitution.
He's a good person and a bad cop.
He sees in our libertarian utopia, we need. There needs to be people we need security. We need someone who is going to research the issues that take place, the bad things that happen.
I don't know that we necessarily do, but
are we going to do it? Are we going to be able to police ourselves? I think that I
don't know that it would be necessary in a libertarian society for anyone to police anything.
I think that it'll never get to that point until we evolve to the next level that we can actually police ourselves.
Well, we're not going to have a libertarian society until we reach that point.
That's
spiritually
correct. So that's where I want to be as well. Where we get to a point where we don't need dudes in blue policing us, even if they are peace officers or peacekeepers. I want to get to a point where we don't need that.
Well, how are they going to keep the peace? Would be the first question.
You're going to have
libertarian society. How does a peacekeeper keep the peace?
We're going to have a late night bar, and people are going to get drunk and they're going to get rowdy, and a brick's going to get thrown through a window, or someone's going to get in a fist fight. All right, so I kind of want to have a bouncer to throw that dude out. Or I kind of want to have someone who is going to hold that person accountable. Maybe it be a bouncer in the establishment and an insurance agency that holds that person accountable, the brick thrower. And so the next day, we're able to get this taken care of. That I'm going to get my window replaced.
What if he refuses to?
Good point. That's why we have what we have right now. You have people who are afraid that person is never going to, take care of his issue.
No, I'm not afraid of that. I'm asking you to face the actual consequences of what you're saying. Is that at the end of the day, we're going to have to use aggression against this guy to make him pay for throwing this brick through the window.
What I'm talking about are consequences.
Well, how is aggression going to make him do anything?
I'm not talking about hurting that person unless it's maybe financially, but I'm talking about consequences.
So you're okay with stealing from him?
No.
How are you going to hurt him financially if he does not consent to it?
I am not going to do business with him ever again.
See, that's
my community is going to put him on a list, Yelp for people. This guy's a brick thrower. This guy drinks too much and he throws bricks. Do not do business with this guy, and he's going to be excommunicated from there on.
Yes.
No one will do business with him. It will hurt him every which way. No one will give him a job. No one will do business with him, and he'll want to fix the problem on his own.
This is the libertarian,
But you don't need a peacekeeper for that.
That's where I want to be, but until
you'll still need to have a guy throw him off the property if he shows back up. That's what you need the security guy.
The bouncer.
Right. So this is the sort of libertarian voluntarist ideal, right? The idea that there would be a reputation system that is so renowned, so widely used that it could be effective. Because right now, if you're a crappy person and you're living
get away with it. You just move to another state,
right? Or even if you're living in a medium-sized city, you just go to a different bar and you go to a different place, and they don't know who you are.
Go sleep on someone else's couch that night,
or whatever. But if you are in a place where people are networked to the point where they do know who you are, and there is some way of identifying you, which of course would be a large network of cameras and enforcement and ID and things like that. So the suggestion there would be that the society you're talking about may actually be more restrictive than the one that we're currently in some ways.
When we talk about, say, the Chinese credit system, it gets a real bad rap because of what it's doing.
Because it's state-run.
It's state-run. I am heavily in favor of a strong credit system.
And a reputation system.
My credit system is 3 different levels. It is your financial credit, your economic or your job worthiness credit, and your community credit.
Yeah.
It's 3 different levels, 3 different numbers, and everyone can see it. And I'm thinking we're getting to a level where we have technology. We have. I don't want to track people, but I mean we're almost there where we can actually.
The technology is there for this. Yeah, that's true.
We could, but the wrong people are in control of it right now. They're going to be using it to trace us to see which of us has had the COVID vaccine pretty soon.
What would make this whole thing a lot easier if we just chipped everyone and we tied that to their reputation, Conan. That would make this whole thing so much easier.
That's not where I'm going with that.
Could just scan their chip and add +10 or -10 to their reputation.
That's where they're going with it.
That's where you're going with it.
I'm not saying it works.
That's the end result.
I'm not saying that humans can actually be in charge of this.
You want to put an AI in charge of it?
Yes.
Okay, that's even better.
They're programmed by people, though. That's the thing.
A benevolent AI.
Yes, I'm with you, man. We can call it Skynet.
Hey, I'm not saying it won't work. I'm not saying it will work.
No, it'll work perfectly.
No, I'm saying this is the only thing this is the only thing that will take us to the next level, because we're not going to do it on our own. Humans can't do it.
But humans are responsible for doing it if the AI does it.
Maybe we need the alien overlords to hand us over this AI so that we can move on to our libertarian utopia. We're not going to do it. We're not going to create it. Not at the level that we're at currently.
I'm a fan of this AI chipping program that we're working on here, Conan.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's a horrible idea. Everything about it is terrible. I like the idea of, credit systems, reputation systems, and all of that. But it raises the question of...
How do you get from here to there, though? That's the tricky part with those.
Well, it's also a question of checks and balances. Someone with a great reputation it may be worth it to them in the short term to, in the long term, damage their own reputation by absolutely ravaging a competitor's reputation.
Why would they? No, they wouldn't do that.
People steal from their employers for short-term gain versus long-term benefit all the time.
Because they don't see the consequences.
That's the issue.
They're not even thinking that they're going to get fired.
So why wouldn't they risk long-term damage to their reputation by, in the short term, doing something that benefits it?
If they were actually able to see the consequences, the reality behind their bad decision, they wouldn't do it. I'm saying there's too many opportunities in this free country we're in.
People already do it.
Because they think they can get away with it.
And the reputation system will have that same illusion. It'll be like, oh, I can't. This guy just started a business. I don't like this guy. I want to put this under. So I'm going to take my perfect reputation score and I'm going to stake it all on saying that he's a bad person. And in the long run, that will hurt my reputation because his will rebuild as people find out that he's not a scammer and all of that. But that's a long-term consequence to mine.
Well,
and we've seen the short-sightedness of people repeatedly.
All right, so we're talking about a credit system. It's a weighted system.
It would have to be weighted, I would think.
That type of damage would be it would have to be equal. So if you did a certain amount of damage to someone,
that's a long-term damage to me.
Exactly.
But I put this guy out of business.
Exactly, and the repercussions would have to be equal. So if you put someone out of business and ruin their lives and ruin everything about them. And if it was found out that you did that to him, the repercussions would have to be equal. You would have to also lose your job and lose your family, lose every money.
I agree, but it wouldn't stop people who, quote, me, from doing that.
I'm thinking
because they would take that long-term risk. They would take that long-term punishment because it's just an illusion to them when the short-term game is real.
Not seeing it.
855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,709, silver at $15.64, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,841. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, going out to your local bar or restaurant once the coronavirus lockdown ends might come with a steep price. That's because 3 cities in Louisiana, Texas, and Missouri will only allow non-essential businesses to reopen if they agree to collect customers' personal information. Activist Post, citing NOLA Ready, reports the Department of Homeland Security and the city of New Orleans are creating a new normal by forcing bars and restaurants to collect customers' personal information. As Forbes.com explains, the new normal is for bars and restaurants to become government snitches. 2 different articles in NOLA.com reveal how DHS and the city of New Orleans plan to use COVID-19 contact tracing as an excuse to record customers' personal information. An article titled "Customer Logs Will Be Kept Under New Normal Amid Coronavirus in New Orleans" explains the plans of the DHS. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Astronomers and other experts have not been shy about voicing their opposition to the Federal Communications Commission, allowing companies to send tens of thousands of satellites and other spacecraft into the sky to blast 5G and Wi-Fi. Now, more unsavory individuals and companies want to send satellites up as well in order to spy on us. Activist Post cites News Punch in saying that almost every corner of the planet will soon be monitored by video surveillance satellites, capable of live streaming coverage of human activity for governments and large enterprises, if Bill Gates gets his way. Microsoft founder Gates is bankrolling a company that is using a $1 billion initial equity allocation from investors to plan a network of satellites to provide real-time coverage of almost every location on Earth. Washington-based company Earth Now plans to launch an army of more than 500 satellites into the atmosphere, providing its users with near instantaneous video feedback with only 1 second of delay. With more than 5,000 service members infected with COVID-19, the United States Army has issued a contract notice on the System of Award Management, known as SAM website, seeking to develop a wearable diagnostic capability for the very early symptomatic detection of COVID-19 infection. Activist Post reports the notice is a request for project proposals through the Medical Technology Enterprise Consortium, which was posted Monday on SAM. It says 10 contracts totaling $25 million could be awarded in weeks to companies that can help the Army rapidly field wearable coronavirus detectors, a move that would be an early warning sign to stop spreading. It said the bidder must have an established manufacturing capability for the platform and to say kits on a large scale. Testing is expected to be minimally invasive, and the device should not affect a soldier's general movement while in the field. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A harrowing situation on Broad Street came to its conclusion Thursday night as a group of hostages were freed from local comedy club The Laugh Up Lounge after a tense 7-minute stand-up set.
Every once in a while, he'd grab his notebook, and I'd think maybe this is it. Maybe he's gonna let us go. But he just kept talking.
Additionally, The Onion recovered this video footage from the cell phone of one of the many captives.
Hey, sir, what do you do
Please,
for work?
if someone sees this, help us. Please help us.
Yeah, micromanagement. The toilet. Totally gonna wang it out.
Oh my God. Oh my God, no.
Cool.
I'm not a religious person, but at one point I said the Lord's Prayer, and it actually had a calming effect. Like Jesus was standing next to me and said, "You're gonna get through this."
I mean, sometimes you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, don't take life for granted because you just never know when something like this could happen. So.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and you can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733, and with you tonight, it's Arya.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And apparently, it's all rigged, says Trump about the election system here in the United States, and I want to get into that, but before we do, let's go to the phones. We've got Clemmerine calling from here in New Hampshire. Clemmerine, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys. I wanted to briefly touch on reopening procedures in New Hampshire specifically, which is where I live. As you know, yesterday was the first day that some businesses were allowed to open with some pretty heavy restrictions on
You
them.
mean golf courses, drive-in movie theaters, and barbershops and salons?
Yeah, salons is the one I wanted to call in and talk about.
Do we even have one drive-in theater in this state?
I believe there's one in Milford.
What a silly thing to even comment on.
So do we know yet whether or not, and I don't remember the name of it, but Nick's Salon here on Main Street, the one that takes Bitcoin, are they open?
I don't know. I don't go to salons.
Okay. Well, I need a haircut, so I need to.
Have you got your?
I set him up with crypto, but that's the only time I've.
Did you get your haircut today, Clamoring?
Well, so I made an appointment with my local salon.
Right, because you can't just walk in. You got to make appointments.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, right?
You have to make an appointment. There's all these things that they sent me an email saying it was a whole page of restrictions. So I had to sign a paper that said that I didn't have, a fever. I hadn't been traveling. I didn't have any of these kind of risk factors for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So fine, whatever. I did that. And then the other restriction was that I had to wear a mask when I went in. Okay.
Oh, man.
So fine. I did that. I'm not opposed to it. Whatever. It doesn't bother me. I think I don't judge anybody for choosing to or not to wear a mask, but I
will
choose
judge.
to wear a mask when I go out.
I will judge because I think it's contributing to, I mean, not that I think I'm not mad at you or anything like that. I'm not judging in that way, but I think that ultimately cooperating with this regime, this sort of medical authoritarian regime, gives power to it. And the more people that are out there cooperating with it, even if they in their minds are against it, you're openly, visibly cooperating with it, and so it creates this new reality. And I don't want to contribute to that.
Yeah, it's a symbol. It's a symbol of subjugation. It's a symbol of compliance.
That's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Go on with the experience.
I did meet their requirement of wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and they're like, you have to wait in your car, and then we'll come out and get you. I'm like, okay.
Jesus.
So I show up. I'm in my car with my mask on and my 4-year-old daughter in the back seat. So I get out of my car when they come out to get me. Well, one of the other restrictions is you can only have one person.
Yeah.
One person per stylist.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I can't leave a 4-year-old child in the car by herself. Like,
they'll arrest you for that.
Yeah. So they just canceled my appointment.
Wow.
So I got into it kind of a little bit of a shouting match with them, saying that they were open to anybody except for single moms.
Jesus. And this is a place you'd been to before?
Yes, they know me there.
Man.
And they're so terrified of the government that they discriminated against, as you said, a single mom.
And a good customer.
Yep.
And they also, I know that salon has this waiting room. I brought her tablet with her, so I was going to just set her up in the waiting room so she wasn't in anybody's space or anything like that.
Which you've already done in the past, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Well,
I just wanted to touch on that.
Right.
This is the new abnormal.
Right. So now instead of just going out to get your hair cut, now you've got to find a babysitter, pay extra to have somebody take care of your child.
If you can find someone who is not so fearful of being the babysitter.
Exactly.
When do they open daycare up in this state?
I don't know.
Oh, there's no plans for that.
Nope.
There's no plans or school or anything.
Ask Flanunu.
Prince Flanunu.
Well, Clamoring, thank you so much for the call. That sounds like a harrowing experience.
Jeez.
And I know that Keene State here was talking about reopening this coming semester, but now they're saying, it's going to be a mix of in-person and online classes.
And they're going to probably make it as much online as possible.
And as we go forward, they'll get to the point where they're just like, no, it's all online only. It's ridiculous. Of course, I did a lot of online classes in college. I loved it, but I'm antisocial.
There was back and forth. There were classes that I would never want to take online because it just doesn't make sense. How are you going to take hands-on art classes online?
But you don't want to take something like calculus online, but for English lit or something, sure.
Well, now you've gone from being antisocial to being too social. Those of us who might not have considered ourselves the most social people are now getting out and going out more often than the so-called normal people.
Are you calling me social, Ian?
I'm not calling you that, no.
I know. I attempted to have a fire party yesterday. I've never thrown a party in my life.
Right.
But because there's nothing else for people to do, hey.
I was there.
Yeah. It was a good time. So it's all rigged, says Trump, coming to us from theguardian.com. So it's going to be good. They don't care much for Trump. Donald Trump falsely accused Democrats of trying to steal Tuesday's special election in California amid the COVID-19 pandemic by adding a polling place in one of the most diverse sections of a district. And all of this is, typical Twitter nonsense for Trump. A state does it. Democrats do a thing. Trump tweets about it. They tweet back. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't tweeted anything about our stupid Republican governor.
No.
He's just as bad as some of these Democrats, but Trump hasn't talked anything bad about him yet, and it's not going to happen, I don't think.
But according to The Guardian, Trump has long railed the accusations that he's now made against California that they were trying to steal the election or whatever by opening this additional polling place. It underscores how the president could take advantage of the way voting procedures are rapidly changing in response to COVID-19 and question the legitimacy of election results in November. And this is not something that's unique to Trump. We've seen people essentially saying the same thing about the Libertarian Party and Justin Amash, saying that the whole reason they're trying to do this online voting thing is so that Sarwark can steal the election for Justin Amash. And I don't know if that's true or not. Sarwark is the national chair of the Libertarian Party. And I don't know if it's true or not. And I don't believe it is. I mean, Nick Sarwark seems like a fairly upstanding person from what I've seen of him, but would there be elements in the LNC that would be willing to do that in the name of respectability politics? Because otherwise, Vermin Supreme is one of the front runners. They don't want that.
Well, see, I don't know how this online voting is going to change things for the LP, but it's one thing's for sure. It will make attending the convention a lot easier. Like,
true.
I just found out last night that they were going to do this, and I reached out to somebody locally in New Hampshire to say, hey, do you guys have any delegate seats that you have available? And they don't, so they've filled their whole – a lot of times they're like desperate to find people to fill delegate seats because you have to physically travel to the convention at a cost of however much, you know, the plane tickets and the hotel, and it's not cheap to go to one of these conventions, so it's actually difficult – you know, for the average person to take the time off and get the money to go and do this stupid political, you know, charade.
Well, it should be cheap right now, but the Libertarian Party is full of people who are stupid and inept, so they're unable to find decent deals on hotel rooms.
You can't get a hotel space. They won't rent it to you. They were going to have a. They were going to have the. No, hold on. They were going to have this thing in Austin, Texas, and it was Austin, Texas that canceled SXXW, the South by Southwest massive, 70,000 person or 100,000 or however many people. There's a lot of people that go to that festival. Austin said, "You can't have this. You need to go away," basically. And they've said that to all the conventions and all the convention spaces, as I understand it. So no hotel room is going to allow you, no hotel is going to allow you to rent the space because the city of Austin won't let them. And they probably just don't want to look bad, right? They don't want to look like they're contributing to COVID-19.
I mean, that's the case
so
now. If I wanted to book a hotel room for September in Miami, I could certainly make that happen.
For September, but this has to happen for the Libertarians this month. There's certain deadlines.
In the month of May?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they're screwed already then because it's already halfway over.
Right. I mean, it was scheduled for Austin, and it's been canceled
since March, if that's the case.
Yes. And
they're just now developing a backup plan?
They just, like, within the last week,
Speaking
decided,
of the LNC being filled with inept people.
Yeah, they just, well, I think they were, you know, to some extent you can't blame them for, like, waiting to see what happens before they make a final decision. And now that the clock is running, and now they're like, well, we're just going to have to do it online. And then they're planning one for Orlando for the remainder of the crap that they don't have to have done this month. So they're going to split the convention. The presidential thing is happening this month.
Okay.
Online.
Well, John McAfee doesn't seem to think they can make it happen in a way that is secure and not fraudulent.
Oh, I suspect it'll be a mess.
Yeah. 855-450-3733.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
My dogs do puppy zoomies around the house, so I will always endorse Dinovite. DINOVITE.com. Why wait? Save your dog from being stinky and having hot spots and shedding and making sure that they have the proper nutrition. Get them started early. I mean, your dogs will love you for it.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dinovite at DINOVITE.com.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair? bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
How many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'd rather keep their clients in the dark. There are too many lawyer jokes to count. However, there are some lawyers with more noble intentions. At the Institute for Justice, we bring the light to our clients. We are a non-profit public interest law firm with clear values and principles. At IJ, we fight for those whose most basic rights are denied by the government. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And you know, Intercoin's architecture enables programmable coins with a variety of applications. Merchants can add tags like books, food, or clothing to their products, and authorized users can see statistics on how money was spent. Experts can then analyze the local economy. Donors and investors can have more confidence. Everyone in the community can have a real-time consumer price index to inform their decision-making and address issues like rising prices or shrinking wages. Intercoin is attempting to regain some of our freedoms that are threatened on the internet and in the real world. We think that's important here on Free Talk Live, so important that FTL accepted $40,000 worth of Intercoin tokens from Intercoin Inc. for advertising. If you think freedom is important too, check out Intercoin at intercoin.org. You can invest in this project and potentially make big gains, or just be involved and perhaps shape its future. That's intercoin.org, intercoin.org. And let's keep going with the phones. We've got Phil calling from Utah. Phil, you're on Free Talk Live.
Okay, I'm just calling. Basically, what I did was I left San Francisco, and I am in Salt Lake City right now, so I can work out.
So you can work out?
That's the first thing.
You went all the way to Salt Lake City so you could go to a gym?
Correct. I'm a fitness trainer.
Okay.
It's my job.
I gotcha.
Okay. I can't. And I came here with my girlfriend. My girlfriend is from Kenya, so I've heard some stories. This is a country. She just went to go get food at Panda Express. So, Well, basically, they have like hundreds of cases in a country of what do we have, like 46 million people, and they shut down. They got people getting beaten in the streets. They can't go feed their family, and you got these idiots wearing these masks around here who think it's a local issue, and they don't understand. This is worldwide. This is coordinated through all these countries coming together to shut down everything.
Oh yeah, we had our caller from Uganda call in earlier. It's the same thing in Uganda.
Yep.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, what is the end game here? Like, I try not to be like Mr. Conspiracy Theory, but like, what is going on here? Because it's not about an upper respiratory illness. There's no way. And why are we doing this right now? And
we're not doing
is,
it. They're doing it. I'm not doing it. I don't want to go along with it. That seems to me the end game's pretty obvious: to aggregate more power to the state and to use that power to wrest more freedoms from people's lives and garner more obedience from them and impoverish them at the same time. Because if you can impoverish people,
hungry people will listen.
They'll do what they say.
If you've got food for them. This is all about This is human population control and human depopulation. Plain and simple.
Of course.
They can't control 7 billion people. There's too many people. They got to get rid of some.
I can get on board with that, and it's just like the thing is, why? Like, we're so compartmentalized. Yeah, what am I? Say the word for me, because
compartmentalized.
I'm like, yeah, there we go, and that we don't see beyond what's in front of us. Like, I like being in Utah. It just seems like the people here get it a little more. And when I was in California, I was in Marin County, and there's people like freaking out, like if you go near them, because I never wore a mask. I moved from Marin County to Santa Clara County because they didn't have a mask mandate. And, I'm here to work out. So I don't know. I just wanted to like vent my frustration about like people don't understand. There's people starving right now over this.
Yep.
They're starving. They can't get food. Here we have daddy government taking care of us. So I mean, not me personally. I don't taxes, so I don't get daddy checks. But we got people like who are here. We get I get all this extra government money. I don't want to go back to work. So what's going to happen when the well runs dry? And we're sitting here, we got food shortages, we got people not working. It's never going to end.
Bread lines.
No, it's never going to end until people get sick and tired of it and decide to, change their mind, and that doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. They're going to have to get a lot more hungry before they start looking at other options, I think.
Bill, thank you so much for the call. What concerns me about it most is this notion of people who are that afraid that they freak out if you even get close to them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, I've always been an advocate of personal space, right? And I've noticed that when I stand behind people in lines, you have those 6 feet apart spacings, but that's about where I would stand naturally.
Oh, really?
COVID or not, because I respect their personal space and I respect my personal space, and I don't want to be that close to them.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's just normal. I don't mind the 6 foot distancing idea, because that's just respecting other people's personal space. I don't like that it's mandatory and that it's become this thing to be shamed over if you don't respect it.
Yeah,
well, I don't like it because it's inefficient. I mean, it just takes up so much more room to do the same things that used to not take up, that kind of space. Now it's literally 6 times as long. Any line that you get in is 6 times the length.
You're standing in a line outside of the building.
Right. It's insane.
And this is just people you don't know in a strange environment. If you're at the bar with your friends, you don't want to sit 6 feet away from your friends that you're having a drink with.
No, but the people I'm not having a drink with, I would rather them be at least 6 feet away.
That would be nice, but then but the bar owner's not going to want that. He's going to want to pack them in like sardines.
Right.
Get everyone buying drinks.
That's one of the reasons why I can't imagine many restaurateurs are very excited about a lot of these reopening rules, because we're talking about in a lot of places 25%.
Who are even going to be able to stay in business after this year.
That's what I'm saying.
If that's the case, you can't keep the lights on for that much.
Right. I mean, they've got a lot of overhead, and the rent is not going to go down by 75%. Okay,
No.
That's not going to happen.
Your taxes aren't going down either.
No,
especially after all this stimulus nonsense.
Yeah. So I mean, to make this work, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough, and they're not going to rehire their employees because You can't bring them back. You only got 25%. Maybe you can bring back 10 or 20% of them, but you can't bring back.
Unless they change the format where they've got everyone delivering or something. Now all of your guys at your wait staff.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got
but
them
most
out
of these restaurants aren't doing that. They're doing DoorDash.
Well, how does that work?
It's
confusing.
Oh, they're paying people to.
It's a company that
Uber,
it's a gig thing.
Uber deliver kind of.
Yeah, it's a gig thing.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, maybe the wait staff that got fired or lost their jobs,
DoorDash.
they're going to have to go to DoorDash now. The format
Well,
is.
that's worse on them in the long run.
How's that?
Well, it destroys your vehicle. It cause way more wear and tear on your vehicle than you're ever going to make.
And they'll have to take that into account, or the business owner is going to have to compensate those employees for their wear and tear on their vehicles. I get stipends for wear and tear.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going to help these business owners stay alive is the fact that some of them are going to die, meaning that their businesses are going to go under, so those customers are going to have to go somewhere else. So Little Zoe's Pizza here in town, great pizza place, but it's expensive. It's like gourmet level pizza. He says he's been hopping because some of the other pizza places are closed.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's staying quite busy as a result of that. That's the only thing they got on their horizon.
Believe it or not, some people during this pandemic are doing really good. Some people they're up to their eyeballs in work, and they probably want a break. They probably want a little bit of that quarantine so they can sleep on a Sunday. I know that they're calling me all the time.
Yeah.
So some people have been very lucky in this, and some people, they're just riding the wave right down the downward spiral.
Well, that was always going to happen, with some businesses staying open and some not. So much less competition.
Yep.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Well, folks, look who came crawling back to Pennington.
That's right, Jeff Statsky. Just 4 years after leaving town to make it as a songwriter and musician on the East Coast, Mr. Hot himself Jeff Statsky has returned. Locals are simply stunned that Mr. Ambition himself would deign to move back to Pennington, the town he once said, quote, wasn't big enough for his music. Tuffy's Bar is even planning a welcome home party for the would-be Bob Dylan.
We got a nice cushioned stool for his precious little East Coast ass. Hey, Jeffy boy, we got the radio on. We're still waiting to hear that big song of yours. Where is it?
Local business owners say Statsky might have just as hard a time finding work here in Pennington as he did when he was trying to be a dainty little songsmith in Coolsville.
Oh, sure, I could set him up with a job, no sweat. Oh, wait, come to think of it, we don't have any openings right now for tambourine-shaking pansies who got dick-slapped by the big city.
This is the Onion News Network.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
And if you're looking for something to do this year, well, you can join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June the 29th until July the 5th for Forkfest 2020 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Happening just the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, Forkfest is decentralized, so no one is in charge. It also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping site, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June the 29th until July the 5th. And we're better to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire. You can just relax and go camping, or you can create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. But if you're planning an event, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with other Forkfesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the Forkfest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. Again, that's forkfest.party. Let's keep going with the phones. We've got the governor calling via Discord at discord.freetalklive.com. The governor, you're on Free Talk Live.
Tell us what to do.
I'm not going to tell you what to do. That's not my job, and that never was my stance.
Well,
so.
You're a very poor governor then.
I am a very terrible governor. I only named myself that because I ran for governor a couple of years ago. But anyway, I was going to discuss the 2020 LP convention and why I think it's going to be a total dumpster fire.
Now, wait, are you talking about the part where they're going to do, because it's going to be in two parts. There's the part that's going to happen this month, which is online, just the presidential nomination, vice presidential nomination, and voting. And then they're going to have the rest of the so-called business session in the summertime.
Yes, I think it's a very poor idea to separate the two, but the presidential nomination in particular seems bothersome to me because I don't understand. I mean, I'm not going to be a part of the delegation. The LPO has basically shunned me, so I have no chance of ever being a delegate, and I don't think there are any open spots in any other states. But what's troubling to me is I have no idea what their verification process is, and I think them making it happen so soon was more so because they ran out of time. And I think it's going to be very haphazardly thrown together, and that could be a disaster. I mean, we already know Justin Amash has been coronated. He will be the nominee because, wow, he's a congressman, right?
Well,
but I'm
back off your mic, man. Back off like an inch or two. You're way too loud.
Sorry about that. But
he
I
won't
think
be
that,
a congressman after the next election.
Well, obviously not. That's the only reason he's running for the presidential nomination is because his relevance is slipping. But I'm afraid that, if there's poor verification as to who can vote as a delegate, this could really, kind of screw candidates like Vermin Supreme who have a very dedicated base. Because honestly, at this point, he's the runner-up, I think.
Now, when you say verification, what do you mean? I've never been to one of these conventions, so I don't know what kind of verification that is typical.
Well, when you show up, you have a delegate badge on. What I mean by verification is how are they going to know who's a delegate and, who's a phony? Basically, I have no idea how they're going to do this.
Well, it's not like they did a good job in the previous years where a bunch of Republicans showed up and voted in Gary Johnson, who's a former Republican governor, and prior to that, Bob Barr, who's a former Republican U.S. representative, and all they had to do was like sign a sheet saying they were joining the Libertarian Party, and now they're a delegate. So I mean, it's not like this has been a stringent process before, dude.
Oh, it never has, but I'm afraid it's going to be a little easier to do with the anonymity of the internet.
Well, then wouldn't that give an advantage to supporters of Vermin Supreme who are maybe a little bit younger, maybe a little more with
internet,
it,
more internet savvy?
Yeah, this seems to be an opportunity.
I'm confused why we wouldn't want anyone who wants to be a delegate for the Libertarian Party be a delegate for the Libertarian. Wouldn't that be consistent with the principles of liberty? Just open it up
it's a
to
private
everyone?
organization, though. That's where I see the difference. Is it's a private organization. You want to make sure that you don't have a bunch of trolls.
It's a private organization that wants to control the government that oversees everyone, whether they're part of that private organization or not.
They want a genuine set of membership, I suppose. I mean, as said, they've never been.
But they won't be ruling over genuine membership. They will be ruling over everyone. So why not open up this voting process to everyone that has the potential to be rolled over by them?
That sounds a lot like democracy to me.
That's sort of what I'm asking. I mean, they're going to play the democracy game. Why aren't they being democratic?
I mean, it's basically open to everybody, Aria. All you have to do is be willing to lie and sign the statement of intent, or whatever they call it. The Libertarian Party, when you join the party, you sign a statement saying that I don't support or advocate the initiation of force to achieve political or social goals.
Sure.
And a bunch of Republicans signed that statement so they could go in and vote for their Republican guy to get them the nomination in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I've semi-fraudulently become a delegate for the Libertarian Party before. I've made no bars about that. I became a delegate at the Ohio convention despite not being, an unaffiliated voter, even though I wasn't supposed to. I mean, they've never been very good about making sure that people, that shouldn't be there get in. As I said, I'm just afraid that it's going to make
give them the presidential candidacy.
What kind of platform is there out there? I understand a lot of people are using this Zoom thing, which has gotten a lot of critique, probably for good reason. But there's got to be a maximum number of people that can attend on these platforms. Are there any kind of platforms? Because like your typical
Discord.
No, you can't have 1,000 people in a Discord chat room, can you?
No,
yes,
it would be
you can.
chaos.
There is, if you have Nitro and you own a server, there is absolutely no reason you shouldn't. I've seen Discord chats on YouTube that have
just
10,000 members.
Administering something like that would be an incredible challenge. Because at this convention, I think there's at least 1,000 people or roundabouts that number that attend these conventions for the Libertarian Party, and I'm sure the Republican and Democrat conventions are similarly sized, if not larger. How do you translate that to an online venue? I don't even know where you would begin, how you would regulate that, because at the physical location, there's only so many microphones. People have to stand up. They have to wait their turn to get to the microphone, and you can more control something like that because you can control the physical bodies of the people.
It sounds to me like the best approach would be a bottom-up one where county Libertarian affiliates tell the chair of the county who their delegates are, and those delegates go ahead and pick their candidate, and that gets forwarded onto the state level, and the state level forwards it to the national level.
Well, if they were going to change the rules, they've got less than 2 weeks to figure that out, because there's certain ballot access deadlines. They have to have a nominee before the end of this month.
That was kind of the biggest concern for me originally when I'd heard about it being online, because if you had it on a Google Hangouts or Skype or whatever, not only is there like a user limit, but one of the ideas I thought of was like, oh, they have a Discord chat, but everybody's muted until the chairman of the body unmutes them after they get recognized. But if you're muted, how on earth are you going to ask to be recognized for personal privilege?
It'll be filled with spam and people tagging the administrator of the chat. And
probably people jumping into the server.
Yeah, and half of those are just going to start shouting expletives as soon as they're unmuted.
I want to watch just to see how this goes. I think it'll be a little more entertaining than the typical Libertarian convention, which is normally boring as sin.
I would agree. Governor, thank you so much for your call. I hope that they manage to work it out, and I hope that Justin Amash doesn't get it. I'd much rather Vermin Supreme.
Yep.
Yeah. Or John McAfee
vote.
would be my second best choice.
I agree.
Despite everything, but Vermin
Supreme McAfee.
Definitely. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
The dream team.
It would be, man. But I don't see it happening. And I mean, he's right. Justin Amash, from everything I can tell, he's already been selected as the candidate.
Which is a shame because the dude literally walked in at the last second, basically. Like within the last week or so, he's thrown his hat into the ring, whereas these other candidates have been debating. They've been going to different conventions when they had conventions, going to different debates, attending multiple debates, and just, you know, hashing out the issues, hashing out their candidacy, talking to the potential supporters. And then this other guy, Amash, just rolls right up at the very end. He's like, "Hey, I'm here."
Yep.
You know, he hasn't participated in one debate yet, right? I mean, he probably won't.
Wasn't it the case in 2012 that Gary Johnson didn't join the Libertarian Party until after he had lost the Republican primaries?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Not sure.
I know he's at the debates and whatnot, though.
You might be right about that.
It may have been 2008. I don't remember how many years in a row.
Well, he
ran
was
for
in
president.
2012 and 2016, so it would have been 2012.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the same thing. Here's a Republican. Oh, that didn't work out. The Republicans hate me now. I'm going to be a Libertarian. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Join me, George Norrie, in Indian Wells, California, May 29th to June 1st for the Contact in the Desert UFO Conference, an epic weekend of exploration into UFOs, ancient civilizations, crop circles, and so much more. Over 150 lectures, panels, workshops, and events with leading experts: Paul Hellyer, Linda Moulton Howe, Nick Pope, Emery Smith, Stephen Greer, Russell Targ, Doc Wallach, Leslie Kane, and more. Get your tickets at contactinthedesert.com. It's time to make contact. Contactinthedesert.com.
So you're wearing a mask every day now?
Yeah.
Where are you getting them?
Same website where I get my neck and body wraps, sunnybay.com.
Really?
And they're handmade, just like their wraps in the USA.
Oh, and good quality?
Oh, very good. These are disposable face masks. And they make cloth face masks, too.
Good price?
That's the best part. 10 masks for only $6.
Wow.
As a public service, sunnybay.com is now making cloth face masks by hand in the Seattle area and sourcing disposable face masks with level 1 protection at sunnybay.com. Get a 10-pack of high-quality disposable face masks for only $6, or choose a handmade, washable, reusable cloth face mask with high 2 layers of quality cotton fabrics. Supplies are limited. Get details and order at sunnybay.com, a Biomed DB design company. Go to sunny-bay.com for disposable or cloth face masks. Just click sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com.
This is George Norrie from Coast to Coast AM and History Channel's Ancient Aliens. We support the amazing energy, nutrition, and skincare products from Jeunesse. Jeunesse products are designed by leading doctors in their field with natural ingredients and even stem cell technology. These products help your body perform and look better. Shop Jeunesse at gcnlife.com or call 1-844-443-6637. gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Don't worry about things you can't control. Isn't that what they always say? But it's about impossible to avoid worrying about what's going on these days. The government has used the war on guns, the war on drugs, and the war on terrorism to tear our Bill of Rights to shreds. But you can fight back. The 10th Amendment Center has proven it, racking up major victories. For example, when the U.S. government claimed authority in the NDAA to have the military kidnap and detain Americans without trial, the nullifiers got a law passed in California, declaring the state's refusal to ever participate in any such thing. Their latest project is offnow.org, nullifying the National Security Agency. They've already gotten model legislation introduced in California, Arizona, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Kansas, meant to limit the power of the NSA to spy on Americans in those states. We'd be fools to wait around for the U.S. Congress or courts to roll back Big Brother. Our best chance is nullification and interposition on the state level. Go to offnow.org, print out that model legislation, and get to work nullifying the NSA. The hero Edward Snowden has risked everything to give us this chance. Let's take it. Offnow.org.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in to talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
It's Ian.
And Conan.
I want to say thank you to Troy, who is tonight's amplifier. That means he's a member of the AMP program. You can find it at amp.freetalklive.com. It stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. People who join the program contribute money that is used strictly to advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live. So if you like the show, if you like what we're doing, you might consider checking it out. Once more, that's amp.freetalklive.com. Troy, we thank you for your contributions, and we hope you continue amplifying the show.
Thanks, Troy.
Well, let's keep going with the phones. We've got James calling from Arizona. James, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello.
Yep.
Hi, guys.
Oh, no, he is there. Crap. What's on your mind, James?
I know, crap. You'd rather just talk to a dork like Stefan Jamison, who won't stop calling my personal cell
You have
phone.
something. Are you wearing a mask calling us? Because you sound really muffled.
Ian?
You sound garbled.
I know. Yeah, I'm around the mountains. And
You got something else in your mouth, James?
I know. You're a minister of peace and love. That's so funny.
I can't take it. I can barely understand him.
Yeah, well, it would be within the purview of a minister.
Buy a new phone.
Yeah, it would be within the purview of a minister of peace to bring laughter by making
Right.
jokes, James.
That
would totally fit.
That was kindergarten humor.
Yeah.
I got
Good
a fun
stuff.
little story for you here. Hoffman Estates, Illinois. This report from CBS Chicago. We talked about a restaurateur earlier who, brazenly went out and violated governor's orders. This one is an ice cream truck operator who, and the way this story is written is so condescending towards him. It's so pro, medical authoritarian state, the CBS reporter that's involved in this. Let me share this with you. Keeping kids cooped up is no easy task. Add to that an enticement, one that's not only unsafe, but illegal. That's what happened when one dad, a CBS 2 journalist, spotted one ice cream man who was not playing by the rules.
Oh, no.
That iconic music box rendition of Turkey in the Straw screams, "We all scream for ice cream, but during a pandemic, social distance is the rule. Getting close to the ice cream man could also mean getting something else. It's a fact of life." Yet Mr. Freeze, not his name, was right there in his truck of treats, unmasked and ungloved, as he took cash.
Is this satire? Is this serious?
No, this is really from CBS Chicago. Ungloved, unmasked, and taking cash for cones in the northwest suburbs Wednesday afternoon. That's when CBS 2 assignment editor Greg Kelly, a father of two, got on his bike and said, "Wait a minute."
Okay, Karen.
Kelly, yeah, this is him, right? This is your male Karen. He said, but he's a reporter, so he's on the job here.
Yeah.
He said to the man,
on the beat.
"Do you think it's a good idea to be doing this with a stay-at-home order, COVID-19? Kelly said. Eventually, Kelly got a bit closer to the man and tried to get answers from Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, because that's what you want to do, is you want to violate social distancing as you stigmatize someone for
Why aren't you wearing a mask? Kelly asked. And he said further, "Why are you trying to take?" Oh, this is the response from the guy. So responding to "Why aren't you wearing a mask?" he said, "Why are you trying to take ice cream out of the hands of children? Are you sick? I'm not sick either. Why are they quarantining healthy people?" The ice cream truck operator said, "There's not any law." And then the statement from the news story. And he's right. There's not a law. It's a governor's order, which isn't the same thing as a law, which we discussed this weekend. "There is a law," says CBS Chicago. Governor J.B. Pritzker said Wednesday, quote, "At this time, face coverings are required in public situations where social distancing cannot be maintained," unquote. Well, the governor saying something isn't a law.
No, the governors don't have the authority to create law.
Now, it doesn't mean that there won't be men with guns who threaten you over it, but it's not a law. The ice cream guy said, "I have a permit." Kelly pointed out the permit would have come before the stay-at-home order. The ice cream truck operator said, "I can't understand what you're saying. Back up and remove the mask," he said. And Kelly said, "I'm not removing the mask," and the ice cream guy drove off.
So who reported this? The guy on the bike, the dad?
That's the reporter. So there was a reporter, Greg Kelly, from
Karen.
So he's actually reporting his own story, or someone else? Because it sounds like this sounds like from the lips of someone else, a bystander who's watching this.
So it was filed by one of his coworkers at the same station that he works for.
To make fun of him?
No, to make him into a hero.
To target the ice cream guy.
It sounds like he's making fun of the dad.
He's not.
Why? Maybe it was just the way that you read it, because he sounds like
ridiculous.
He sounds like a real idiot.
Well, right. The story's ridiculous.
I asked if it was satire because of how over the top they were in the description.
From our perspective, it's over the top, but from the Karen's perspective, they're like, "Oh, that brave dad!
They're
he
crusaders.
rode up on his bicycle."
They're crusaders.
Yeah.
But I love in the end though. Please step back and remove your
Take your mask
I
off.
can't understand you.
I'm going to start trying that if someone happens to criticize me for not wearing a mask. Can you please step back and take off your mask? I can't understand you.
Actually,
brilliant.
we just kind of did with the last caller. James, take your mask off. We can't understand you.
Yeah, I thought it was a ridiculous story.
That's absurd. It sounds like it could be satire with all of those over the top. That's when he risked running out there and bravely questioned.
Well, I said
accosted.
the risk thing wasn't in there.
Okay.
Bravely accosted the ice cream dealer. Our ice cream guy was actually out and about on Saturday or Sunday.
Good.
I never saw him, but I heard his silly siren going off for hours. So I never got to see if he was wearing a mask or anything.
It's a great time to go sell ice cream if you can get people to leave their damn house because everybody's home.
Well, when it's not 12 degrees outside.
True.
And snowing.
We did have some warm
May.
days, but then our weird May snow came, and that was weird. I know that I was out and about covering up plants because
I don't think it actually snowed here in Keene.
Not really.
But it did get pretty cold.
They said that it was bullcrap. It rained all night, but it did snow in Walpole. I found the snow finally. I was up on top of the mountains.
We don't need a weather report.
Hills. No, we don't.
I mean, I have to start cutting my grass now because it's that time of year, but I have to wear a sweater while doing it because it's still kind of chilly out.
Don't forget your mask. You got to have a mask on while you're cutting the lawn.
Well, I mean, that's sort of a good idea anyway because I have bad allergies here in New Hampshire that I won't be wearing a mask, but it's not a bad idea when you're cutting the grass to wear one.
Yeah, if we're talking about safety, I'm going to wear a helmet when I ride my motorcycle. I'm going to wear safety glasses when I'm cutting. I'm going to wear, safety PPE when it's actually necessary, when I actually know that there is risk to my personal health. And this whole mask thing, it's just when I've seen the numbers, it's all bullcrap. And you know what? We laugh at the people driving by themselves in their cars wearing their masks. I could top that. I saw a dude last weekend jogging
with a mask,
jogging with the mask on, and I'm like, all right, I'm never going to see that again. The same day I saw someone else jogging with their damn mask on, huffing and puffing.
That sounds like a really bad plan.
That's not healthy. That's not healthy. You need oxygen.
Right. You need it fast.
You're just sucking that carbon right back into your lungs. You're hurting yourself.
I was terrified you were going to say that you saw someone sitting in their home wearing a mask.
I bet
that's
it happens.
where I expected you to go.
I've seen
jogging. It's a bad idea for your health, but I understand it. You're out in public, so that kind of person thinks they should have to wear a mask. Right?
I've seen people out in the woods. Not the city, not here where we're at. The herbs.
Just like out in the woods by themselves,
sitting in their lawn chairs in front of their houses wearing their masks. Yes,
unbelievable.
By themselves, out in the fresh countryside.
What can you say to reach someone who's that detached from reality?
I don't think you can.
You can't.
I mean, because at that point, it's not about protecting themselves from anything.
It's about compliance.
It's about making themselves feel good about complying with the decrees of the government.
And showing to others that you are compliant.
These masks, like the first article we read about, these masks are making you dumb, they're making you afraid, and they're not making you safe in the long run. People jogging with masks on, that is not safe. That is dangerous. You're gonna hyperventilate. You're gonna pass out, and you're gonna get run over by somebody because you're laying there in the road.
If that's the worst. I mean, okay, we're probably better off without them.
I mean, I'm thinking let Darwinism happen.
Let Darwin take care of it.
But that's the problem. Is all of this is against Darwinism. It's trying to stop people from dying who otherwise probably would.
Yeah.
The idea
like
that,
the weak and the infirm and all of that.
Yeah, the idea that life is so precious.
I'd rather let the stupid get themselves killed by wearing masks while jogging.
Right. Darwinism isn't the weak don't make it. It is the
survival of the fittest.
It is the weak don't produce, reproduce. So,
well, if they're dying off sooner rather than later, they're less likely to reproduce.
I'm thinking just like the Great Depression, you had all of the fearful folk out there. They weren't having sex. They weren't reproducing. So this might be the time for us, for the strong to
I disagree.
to shine.
I think right now the fearful are breeding en masse because they're quarantined in their homes, terrified of everyone who doesn't live with them, and there's not much else for them to do.
I don't think the stats say that is the truth. I think a lot of people are not having sex, period, right now.
We'll know 9 months from
now.
now.
That's what they're saying. That's what the stats are saying, but I think Arya's right. I think you're going to see a baby boom.
A COVID boom.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be a good thing for the average intelligence level or the average ability to resist fear level, whatever one might call that. If you like the show, thanks for listening, but head on over to amp.freetalklive.com.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had got involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally